Thanks very much for joining us. It's just me on my lonesome right now. I'm not sure if D is sleeping or if the takeover is just going to be temporary, but we'll see. I just rolled up a little joint, so is this going to make noise? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's sure taking forever. There it is. It's actually making noise this time. Boom. Ladies and gerbils, I will be the first thumbs up button. If you guys enjoyed the show, if you guys like the show, if you guys want to see more of the show, please do hit the thumbs up button. That would be super helpful. Don't ask me exactly how it's helpful, but it's apparently, ostensibly, purportedly helpful. So, ladies and germs, hit that thumbs up button. Of course, if you hate the show like a freaking, I don't even know, it's like rabies, basically, obviously hit the downvote button twice and then go find something else to watch. I mean, shit, we'd be happy to give you recommendations. There's no shortage of shit on YouTube. So, folks, if you guys literally want recommendations for something that isn't this trash, feel free to ask. What the fuck? I guess I don't know. You'll have to. It'll be a little bit of a catch-22 if you trust our judgment, because obviously the other people are watching this show, so perhaps they don't share your tastes. But anyway, we can cross that bridge when we come to it. In the meantime, though, folks, like I said, if you guys dislike the show, just go watch something else. Holy shit, the vibes on this show are supposed to be good. It blows my fucking mind how bad the vibes have been a number of different times. When I try not to think about it, but when I do think about it from time to time, I'm like, whoa, fuck this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. Mother of absolute fuck shit. Ladies and gentlemen, supposed to come on here and smoke a joint, talk to us about weed, things, stuff, whatever. In fact, there's a fun channel on YouTube called Stuff and Things that I enjoy. Anyway, it makes me wonder, now that I think about it, if that guy catches a lot of shit. I can't imagine he does. He's a nice guy. But anyway, Bradley. Hello, I'm Bradley. Stuff and Things, he always says. Anyway, ladies and gerbils, hop on up, join the show. If D doesn't join, I don't know. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he doesn't have internet this week, because I noticed he didn't have a takeover either. So perhaps he's just doesn't have internet. So, folks, if D's not going to run it, I'm not going to run it. So it's probably not going to be a very long takeover. If you guys would like to run takeover, you're more than welcome to hop on here. I know Bud Kilowatt likes to chat. So there's probably a ton of probably people in that chat. Let's see. Oh, there you guys are. Welcome, folks. Oh, there's D. What's going on, D, buddy? Big Terps in the house. Bud Kilowatts in the house. What's going on, Bud? So anyway, you guys have an opportunity to hop on and run the show. If you guys don't want to run the show and want to do something else, now is the time to let me know. Well, I guess after this joint, probably. I was going to turbocharge this joint and then I forgot. Just not do that. I have the hash that Bud gave me. He gave me a couple strands of hash. I don't remember. I don't think he remembers which one was which, but they're tasty. They're yummy. And I've been, I don't have a dab rig or anything, so I've been supercharging my shit. Oh, D's in the waiting room. Please hold. There we go. I don't see anybody. That's weird. Ain't nobody in the waiting room. All right, give it a second. Cheers, folks. Is it 20? Almost. I can wait until it's 20. There we go. Boom. There he is. Man, with a plan. There he is. What's going on, D?
Hey Jimmy, you were frozen, but you fixed. Well,
Oh, I was frozen for a while?
yeah, your picture. It's just your
Oh,
picture,
that's
but now it's
fine.
working again. I don't
I
know.
will tell you. I'm just on my phone, so that's probably why. What's going on, D?
I'm just hanging out, just finishing supper. Mrs. D made some hot dogs.
Oh, sweet.
Good, yeah.
Oh, I
I
wasn't
had,
going to a hot dog place today. I might go tomorrow. Although tomorrow I might go somewhere else. Tale of the Pup. It's over on Santa Monica, and it's one of the oldest hot dog shops. It's really fun. It's got this. I wish I could share it right now. It's got like a hot dog stand that looks like a big hot dog, and it kind of looks like a butt. It's really pretty amusing. Every time I drive by it, I've wanted to go there for years and years and years, but I never. I don't know. I just never did. So now I'm like, oh fuck, I might not come back to LA anytime soon. So I'm like, oh shit, I gotta see all the places that I have been wanting to see. There's another place that I've been trying to go to. I'm going to try again tonight. Hopefully, I'll fucking succeed. It's maddening to me that this is This is like a multiple attempt thing. I've been trying to go to this place called Feng Mao, I think it's called. I don't speak Chinese, so my apologies to anyone who does speak Chinese. But it's a Chinese kebab shop down in Koreatown. And literally every single time I've gone there like 3 times. They've been open, but the chefs have all left for the day because they weren't busy. And I'm like, motherfucking shitbag. Oh, whatever. One of my favorite parts, I mean, it's partly my fault because I go to these places late. One of my absolute favorite parts about LA is that you can go to stuff literally at whatever hour. Like last night, I went to Quentin Tarantino's movie theater. He has this cool movie theater called the New Beverly Cinema. Um, I guess he's going to have a second movie theater at some point. But anyway, that one is cool enough. It's not like, I don't know, shit your pants movie theater or something. It's not like one of those. It's not like what do they have here? The Egyptian or even Grauman's Chinese. The main theater is super ornate. It's not like that at all. It's just a regular movie theater. But he set it up actually really nice. I got to give him a lot of credit. The tickets are quite reasonable. He shows a lot of cool stuff. It's mostly like second run stuff, right? I don't even know if he plays any first run stuff. It's mostly his movies, his friends' movies, and I guess his like personal 35 millimeter collection. He's got a ton of movies apparently. Anyway, I went to see Django Unchained last night at midnight, which was really fun. I forgot how long the movie was because it didn't get out till 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh fuck me. Anyway, but oh, it was super fun. Honestly, the projection was good, sound was super good. Nobody talks. Like that's the whole thing in that movie theater. Like they'll actually kick you out if you talk. So like nobody fucking talks. You know, people laugh and stuff when there's something funny, but nobody's like, oh, what was he saying? What's Django doing there? Blah, 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 blah. Or you just talk texting or whatever the fuck, you know. Like it's so unpleasant to go to most movie theaters. Anyway, that's one of my favorite parts of LA is that you can go to a movie at fucking midnight. You know what I mean? And then after that, there's a million different bars and restaurants and shit that you can go to still. A lot of times people don't even start their parties until midnight. It's kind of comical. What was I going to say? Sometimes the downside of that, I guess, post COVID, is that LA hasn't really recovered from the COVID catastrophe, basically. And a lot of places, even though they are basically open, like this Feng Mao place is open until like 11:30 or some days I think until midnight or something. When there's no business, they just send the chefs home, and so it's like probably the hostess is there just to keep the lights on. I don't know why they don't just close the place when it's like that, but whatever. I guess that's the thing. They must have to keep the lights on or something. Anyway, so I'm going to try to go there again tonight. Dang it, it's dropped. Um, should be excellent. It's um, really well reviewed. So see. I'm really curious too because I haven't had anything quite like that. I really love obviously kebabs, but I've mostly had, I guess you could say, fuck, I don't know, Muslim culture kebabs, basically, right? Like obviously, Lebanese, Syrian, Iraqi, fucking. I guess Morocco doesn't really do kebabs, but North Africa, Egyptian kebabs. It's a Turkish, obviously, Armenian. Armenian, I guess, is the exception to that whole Muslim world. What was I going to say? Or Russians, Soviet people, they know shashlik and stuff like that. That comes more from Central Asia. But yeah, I'm really curious about this Chinese kebabs. I'm really curious how that's going to come out. I really am a big fan of Chinese hot pot, and so I'm wondering if this is kind of more towards that, or if it's more towards. I can't tell from the menu if it's more like I was suspecting that it was more like Eastern Chinese. But then when I look at all the dishes that they serve with it, I was like, oh, that doesn't really look like Eastern Chinese or a Persian influenced food. Da da da. So anyway, we'll see. I really want to go there.
Oh, fried rice kebab. Little pieces of rice stuck to a piece of a kebab. I don't know.
There is actually I drove by a place that only sells fried rice. It's like the place is called Fried Rice. What was it called? Anyway, they sell fried rice. That's their whole thing. LA is amazing. Honestly, it's probably one of the best food cities in the world. Um, it's definitely got basically Flora wasn't lying. Like it has basically everything you could possibly want. It's got the best, obviously, movie scene. You can go to see shows every single fucking day. Like there's just tonight there's like 3 or 4 cool. There's actually a couple of free shows. There's a free show at Union Station right now that was super fun. I was thinking about going to. What else? Yeah, the food is next level. I mean, Portland, we have a really good food scene too. So it's I guess we're not really missing out in that respect. But man, almost everything else you can get 10 times of in LA. It's something else. Portland, we pride ourselves on our Chinese food because we have really a lot of not just Chinese, but also Vietnamese, Laotian, Cambodian, residents. But we still have a pretty good Chinese community because we're right on the West Coast, right? And historically, there's been a lot of Chinese people there, but man, the Chinese scene down here is on another level, just on a completely different level. And then one thing that we really don't have anything close to is Korean. Koreatown is a real community. Actually, a lot of the different towns here, like Tokyo Town and stuff, aren't exactly real communities. Like Tokyo Town, interesting enough, I learned this a few weeks ago. One of the reasons why it's kind of a fake place because when you go there you don't, I mean, it's not fake or anything, but when you go there you're like, this is weird, this is not like what you expect from Tokyo Town. You expect a bunch of Japanese people and whatever, but there really aren't any. It's essentially all the businesses, actually even the Japanese businesses, most of them are owned by Korean and Chinese. It's a very interesting setup. A lot of them are still basically caretakers that took over when in World War II, the Japanese, because they used to live in Tokyo Town, they were depopulated, basically forcefully depopulated to get sent to the I guess you call them concentration camps, because remember the internment camps, I guess is probably the word we use, but still, it's essentially a concentration camp. Anyway, yeah, George Takei famously, he wasn't from LA, but he was from Southern California somewhere.
Exactly.
Fuck, I don't remember where he was from. Not far away, actually, Alhambra or something. He's basically from the area, essentially, and he was sent to some of the same camps, basically. And ever since then, they never repopulated Tokyo Town. Interestingly enough, but all these years later, it's what, 80 years later, they still call it Tokyo Town. When you go there, there's still a ton of Japanese businesses, quote unquote, a ton of sushi places and izakayas and all that kind of stuff. But it's very intriguing because it's not like a real community. Whereas, like I say, Koreatown, you see Korean people, you see all the signs are in Korean. They have all these Korean banks. You drive by Hanmi Bank and whatever the fuck. Like, it's kind of comical. It's a real community, but and they famously defended themselves. It was a really, what's that, D?
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, it's really interesting. During the LA riots, but Kilowatt hinted at that or alluded to that the other day when I was over at his place. The Korean businesses, literally, they got on top of their businesses with guns, sniper rifles, and stuff. I mean, they're not snipers, but I mean, whatever. If they had scopes and shit, that was their sniper rifle, and they were defending themselves basically from the rioters because the LAPD was somewhere the fuck else.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Right on. Bug Kilowatt says this
30 years ago. Yeah, it was 30 years ago. Because you wouldn't see it, like you wouldn't see that kind of race tension now. Like, I mean, I was super young back then. I wouldn't have noticed anything. But like I get the feeling that LA was different, basically in vibe and everything else than it is now. I think now it's a lot more chill. I haven't seen anybody like I used to. Honestly, I used to sometimes see people just yelling at each other. Honking was famous for LA. I haven't hardly at all heard anyone fucking honk here since I've been here. Like the vibe is really chilled out. Honestly, maybe it's weed. I don't know what it is, but literally, it's really chilled out.
Well, I heard if you honk in LA, you get the shit kicked out of you. You get shot at if you honk at people. That's what
Maybe
I've
that's
heard
what
in LA.
everyone's packing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
yeah, that's
know
what
how true that is on home.
grenade launcher.
That's what I heard. We don't crime more gross.
Can you imagine if it was legal to have like grenade launchers on your car? People
Oh
would get
fuck.
some fucking fights. Holy shit. Some boomer would like get the wrong switch. They'd think they were backing up and they would grenade launch like I don't even know, yoga studio. They're planning to get frozen yogurt and they freak out because the yogurt's too cold and they accidentally blow up 50 yogis.
That must be some good shit.
Folks, hop on. I got to bounce here in a little bit after this joint.
I don't know if you saw this message, but when you were talking about the joints you were rolling and you weren't sure, 5 kilowatt says Mendo was in jar, green crack was in fold. So I don't know
Oh,
if
I'm
that
sorry, I
helped.
didn't catch that. The green crack is in the fold and the Mendo was in the jar.
Yeah. So I don't know if that helps
Oh,
you.
interesting.
Tells you.
If I had to guess, I would have thought the opposite because I think the
True.
Mendo is very fruity smelling. Not fruity exactly, but kind of, gosh, almost pineapple.
Ooh. Voila.
Yeah, it smells really good. It's definitely fuely, but it's not. I would have expected it to be way more, like Bud describes it, way more fucking earthy and dank, like a basement a little bit.
Well, that's awesome. You got some exclusive Bud Kilowatt flower to try.
Mhm. I sure did. Yeah, I'm smoking his. What am I smoking? I think I'm smoking apples and bananas. There was a little bit of cheetah piss on the tray still, but it's mostly apples and bananas.
Nice.
Really. And then I got his cheetah piss, and they also gave me a little bit of Bubba Kush, and then the other one I think we couldn't remember what it was. It was GB. Maybe Bud remembers what that is. What's the GB? Yeah, GB. GB something. Fuck, I don't remember what that was. Anyway.
Right on.
Folks, have fun. Come join the panel. The show really is for you. I don't know why we have to beg all the time. The show is literally for you. I've thought about many times cutting these live streams. I basically only do them essentially because I've been doing them at this point. It's just like a sunk cost fallacy somehow. So, folks, the show really legitimately is for you. So hop on here, come chat. Come talk about your garden, come talk about what you're excited about growing on, whatever else. If you don't want to come on here, hey, that's fine. But the show will basically disappear in a little bit and you won't have anything to enjoy. So, kind of on you.
Oh no. That's some
What's that?
sad news.
What's that?
Old fashioned coffee pot said he's got 130 plants ripped up today in his garden. That's some sad shit right there.
Oh, fuck.
How'd that happen, old fashioned? That's sad,
Yeah, I
man.
saw
That's
his
sad.
comment. Wowza.
Yeah.
Oh, Bud Kilowatt is saying the crack epidemic really made LA crazy for a decade. That basically ended a long time ago.
Yeah.
Congrats, Crymore. Crymore just got a new puppy. That's a wonderful
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, man. Good luck.
All right. Well, thank
Hope
you.
your puppy dog has a wonderful life with you. Cheers, Rory. Good to see you. Oh, Big Turp is saying, you all know what I did today. I went to a party. The host is a state trooper's house, and I'm lit, smoked 2 joints. Just think it's cool as shit. We knew that. That is funny.
Was a street trooper?
Friend of mine years ago. Oh, cheers, Dead Fish fan. Good to see you. He says he spent 29 on the damn fish stream tonight and it cut off halfway through the second set. Fuck that. Um, at least it wasn't a Mike Tyson pay per view and end in 30 seconds, right? $200 fight knocks the guy to the fucking mat in 30 seconds. Oh shit, what?
I can't wait to see that fight.
Oh, what's this fuck Tyson versus Jake?
Jay
Oh,
Paul.
I saw one of the Pauls the other day. I saw Logan Paul or something. I don't know. One of them. I want to know less about them. I want to know less than I do about the two of them. But I saw one of them in a douchey sports car over in where were we? Over in Malibu or somewhere close to that.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna check that out after Crymore. Crymore put a picture in Discord. Oh, really? You think there was a disgruntled employee? You can. Shit. What a motherfucker. Well, Crymore will hit him.
Video. Disgruntled coworker. What the fuck?
Mm.
Coffee pot. Was it your personal garden or was it just was it your work garden, I would feel oh, he's saying he was a disgruntled employee. I canned. I guess I've never asked Coffee Pot. I wonder if he runs his own farm or what. Be a good opportunity to ask you, Coffee Pot. I guess bad circumstances, but good opportunity. I've definitely heard of. That's a good way to burn your bridges. Holy fuck! I guess if he doesn't know for sure, though, then it's a different story. But fuck, well, maybe he doesn't have cameras. But if he has cameras, fuck me, that'd be a great way to get caught.
Yeah.
And again, some people are dumb as a,
Modest shows.
dumb as anything.
Oh, community garden.
Oh, wow, really? So probably not weed plants then, probably tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. But that blows too because a bunch of people's hard work too. Community gardens are such a fun thing, and some people really count on the veggies and stuff they get from them. Not only the relief from gardening. My dad had a garden plot. Yeah, I know he how I put this, like even some of his friends and neighbors told me after he died, told me how much like dedication he showed. I didn't even know when he was alive, but I guess he went there every day.
And some of those community gardens will actually trade with each other too. They'll say, "Oh, you got tomatoes, I got cucumbers. Let's trade."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, it's cannabis plants. Well, that sucks.
Oh wow.
F4 coffee pot.
No shit. A cannabis community garden. Wow, that's the kind of thing you can have in a legal country. So that's the kind of thing you can have in Canada. I don't know you could have that in Oregon. Wowza. Yeah, I doubt severely that you could have that in Oregon or California. Someone would fucking find out and complain. I don't even know exactly what rule it would. I mean, it would basically probably be against some of the rules. You're probably only allowed to have the small amount of plants together. And I bet if you look at the fine print, they said that you can't combine them or something. Anyway, they'd find some way to get you in trouble.
What? What? What is?
Howdy.
Cheers, bud.
Hey, bud. Bud. See
ya. What's the good word?
Yeah. Got a bunch of work to do in a little bit.
heck.
Cannot put it off. That my clones are like need water before too long here. I'll be able to just bring my phone in there and do it.
Oh,
that's fun because I don't see anybody else coming on.
Right.
Even though I like to wait a little while. But
Hop on, folks. You heard Bud. You guys want to keep the show going? Hop on. Join the conversation. We know you're out there. Green Fingers and Captain and who else? Some of the regular listeners. You guys should hop on here. VT. Crime War. I don't think has ever been on the show. Has Crime War been on the show?
Once, I think. Hasn't he been on once?
Yeah, I feel like he was on this one time. Yeah, you should hop on. Fuck, we haven't seen Organic Soul Gardens for a long time, or Get Up Gal for that matter. Although I'm not sure that Get Up Gal have been on the show. Fuck, there's a lot of people.
That'd be awesome.
Right?
Get Up Girl.
That would be a first. That would be a first, Get Up Gal.
A first, yes. Get Up Girl. We speak your name.
Right. Maybe we save enough time and summon her like Beetlejuice.
Even Rez, man. I miss that guy.
Oh, Reservation Prophet. It'd be fun to talk to him, yeah.
Yeah.
D told me some updates behind the scenes. It'd be fun. I don't know if it's public. It'd be fun to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I don't know if we're supposed to. Well, he said it on my show, so.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Even still, you never know. Definitely a surprise. I was like, what? Really? Did you say that right? But probably works great.
Mhm.
Very great. Great.
Grapes, yeah.
Absolutely.
What I
And
missed.
fuck those. He wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Thriving, I guess. Yeah, that's probably the right word. He wasn't really thriving in where the fuck was he? Desert in California.
Hmm.
Part of California. Fuck man, I don't remember.
Yeah, he was in the desert somewhere.
Yeah, up here in like Lancaster, was it near like Lancaster or something? Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, it was somewhere there, or maybe it was in San Bernardino. No, it wasn't San Bernardino.
I don't
Although
remember.
maybe it was because he wasn't. I think he wasn't allowed to grow outdoors. I remember we were asking like, "Oh, why don't you just grow outdoors?" And he was like, "Oh, I can't. The only reason he could grow, I think, is because he had a medical card." So actually, it might have been in San Bernardino County, which is what? But it's by far the biggest county in all of California, right? Like by far, by far.
Oh, San Bernardino? Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and for some reason they just it's conservative, I guess, so they didn't allow weed growing.
Well, LA County's pretty big itself. I mean, like you mentioned Lancaster. Yeah, Lancaster's like fucking hours away from LA. That's still LA County. Goes all the way up to like Oxnard is LA
Mm.
County and pretty yeah, LA County's as far as miles, pretty big.
Oh, as far as population, you can't touch it either. Yeah,
Yeah, so too.
I bet LA County is the most populous by far. I wonder what most populous California counties.
Yeah, so yesterday, the world changes. I hate all the changes. So in my area, it was only the one store, hydro store. And of course, it got bought by Grow Generation a few years ago. Uh, and Grow Generation, after a few years, closed it. So I had to drive like, oh, it was 40 minutes to the one in Marietta, uh, get all my supplies. And then the guy at the store, as I was getting these, like, I guess they're 1.5 inch Rockwell cubes. They come in these packs of 3 strips. I think it's 45 in a package. I've used these since like 91 or 92. That every clone, every seed, everything, our whole system is starts with these. Now I like the one with the sleeves, but they have the flats that don't have sleeves on it. Yeah, the guy told me that Rodan discontinued all of them. Like, oh, they still make the cube, the bigger, the 3 inch, 4 inch Hugos, but yeah, they're not making baby cubes anymore.
Huh.
He had 3 cases. I told him to hold one case, a whole case of baby cubes. Yeah, that's like I go through a decent amount, but that's probably a couple years worth.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm gonna go because and then I joke with the guy, but I've been thinking about it. If Rockwell discontinues all the small baby cubes, like why put holes in their cube? Like, because you can get the bigger cube with no hole in it, which I've always gotten want the hole because the one cube fits right in the bigger cube. And if you're not going to have the smaller cubes anymore, uh, and even the other companies, there are a few other companies that make Rockwell cubes, but I've never seen their baby cubes. They've only had the bigger cubes. Maybe they do make them. Um, yeah, I was like, damn, what
I was just gonna say, what are people gonna do for clones if you can't use the little baby Rockwell cubes,
Yeah, I
but you
mean,
still use Rockwell?
and other things. Like some of it is, yeah, myself. I am one of these people that, like, if it works, don't fix it. I just do the same thing over and over. Um, yeah, but as time goes on, hydro stores close, and products are discontinued. Uh, it isn't just in growing because my favorite pant, Levi 569 cords. Oh, they've been discontinued forever, years ago. I've been buying those since I was a kid. I uh, so many things that I've liked or like have been a repeat customer of, they get rid of. I, it sucks when that happens, but oh well, life goes on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what decision that Rockwell has in that. I mean, Grodan. I mean, like I say, it's like part of their whole line. And why would you stop making those cubes? But
Probably just doesn't make them enough money. And as bizarre as it sounds, all the weed clone operations and everything else probably just adds up to a fart in the bucket for them. You know, like they don't care. They basically sell most of those cubes to lettuce growers, fucking cabbage growers, and whatever else, right? Like the weed people are nothing compared to
yeah,
that. It's a good humbling moment. By the way, just so I can close this tab, Los Angeles County is the most populous at 9.6 million. Then this one surprised me. San Diego County is 3.2 million. That's number two. So that makes sense why Bud was talking about North County this and South County that and blah blah blah. Apparently, a lot of fucking people there. Orange County, which is basically contiguous with Los Angeles County, is 3 million. So essentially, that's 12 million in two counties right next to each other. And then San Bernardino County, even though it's a gigantic area, it's actually only 2.195. It's fifth place. Still a lot of people there.
yeah, and then you go north a little ways. There's Ventura County, Santa Barbara, and all those areas up there. Uh, Ventura, Oxnard. I don't think they have that many millions there, but I've always heard, I don't know, a rough number that Southern California has like 20 million people. The math you're doing adds up to that. It seems
Mm-hmm.
close, but yeah, 20 mil. But then I've never been there, but I've heard, like, you think it's super populated here? Mexico City's like the most
Oh
populated,
yeah,
like,
gigantic.
like so populated. It's crazy. Yeah.
I've only been there a couple times. I was just thinking that it would be a really fun place to go, maybe in the fall or something. It's supposed to be one of the coolest cities in the world. Pardon?
Yeah, man.
Well,
No, for real. It's supposed to have just an absolutely next level. Speaking of food scenes and everything else, and not just Mexican food. Everyone obviously assumes Mexican food, but people forget Mexico's
I
not a
don't
poor country
remember
by any
which
stretch.
side was east or west, but I had this growth property years ago out in east of where I was, whatever. And I had my guy, the Mexican guy that worked for me for years. And when we were building it out, I think it was about the third or fourth day we were there. In the evening, the other Mexicans that worked the cut flower uh, job fields on the property told me that uh, this guy wanted, some guy wanted to talk with me. I'm like, okay, sure. Well, okay. This guy comes up and basically explains to me that, yeah, him and all the people in this little canyon, which was ag. I mean, I was growing wheat, but there was a lot of other ag in there, and immigrant workers working the fields and everything. It was all, I'll just say, west or like one part of Mexico City. and the guy, my guy, he was from the other part, which like, oh, they had a lot of disparaging comments. Oh, the guy that worked for me, he was none of that. He was an honest, hardworking family man, worked for me for years. But because he was from the other side of Mexico City, like they basically said, yeah, if you bring him up here again, we don't, no, like he can't, like they're thieves. They had all these names for the people from that side of Mexico City. Like there was like one side of Mexico City is one kind of people, the other side is the other kind of people. And yeah, I
Never
had this
over the
situation.
territorial beefs people
Yeah,
have.
the shot caller of the thing, which this was years ago, not a long time ago. That's when also I another friend of mine explained to me that yeah, the Home Depot here, that's like you don't realize, but all that stuff is like yeah, they're very territorial. So like you think if the one Home Depot over here had Salvadorian people, the one Home Depot over here had Mexican people, like or those like the different places where you could pick up day workers, they stand out
Oh,
in front.
yeah.
They were all like different, like and they were territorial about that. Which okay, I understand. I mean, that's I guess human nature. That's the kind of shit that happens. They're looking out for their own. But yeah, I know that.
So, excuse me. What Bud is talking about is it's a lot less common, even in Oregon, Washington. I've never really seen this happen. I don't really know why. Maybe because it's just not as warm all year round. But basically, year round, if you go to almost any big Home Depot, not every single Home Depot, but almost every big Home Depot, that includes Lowe's, that includes some of the other local builder stores that I can't think of the names right now, Builders First Source, whatever it's called. Anyway, they'll almost always have a line of day laborers basically standing outside waiting to get picked up. And you don't sign any papers, whatever. You just literally basically pick these people up. And interestingly enough, most of them are actually what's the word I'm looking for? Permanent residents,
Illegal?
older citizens, stuff like that, immigrants. But a lot of times they're older. A lot of times they don't speak very much English and stuff like that. And yeah, there's the labor supply basically in California is fairly high, honestly, for that kind of worker. So you can honestly find people like that all the time. You still have to pay them a pretty decent amount of money, so it's not like you can pay them $5 an hour or some shit, right? Like you still basically these days have to pay them 20, 25 bucks an hour, mostly. And if you want someone who's actually good, you have to ask a bunch of questions and da 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 da. But anyway,
and
some
I
of the Home
mean,
Depots
like
have
what
really
you pay them is how much they work. End of story. Like if you try to say, oh, only so much an hour, well, then they're going to work slow and not work very much. You
That's
pay
true.
them
They'll give
right.
you if you only pay them
And the
15 bucks an hour,
bottom
they'll
line
give you
is,
15 bucks an hour.
I've been in SoCal my whole life. There's a work ethic within that culture. Nope, I've never met another nationality or people that even come close to like how hard they will work.
Sí, señor.
And even, like one thing in this whole politics, like I live in San Diego, so I mean the border's right there. And the national news, they paint this thing of like there's this catastrophe at the border and all this crazy stuff. Not I was saying this to my other friend. If it was like that, wouldn't we see like nothing has changed here in all the years?
So
Yeah,
you're trying to make too much sense out of deliberate lies, but that's the real cynical truth of it. That's the real reality of it. Like those states, they know better. There isn't a single place in the country where there are immigrants pouring over in hordes or some shit like Trump talks about, or like Steve Abbott talks about. Like it doesn't happen. It hasn't happened ever. I don't think it's ever happened that there were like people pouring over the fucking border. The only time that you could basically argue that is where you have like boats of Cubans that basically would come to Florida, or Haitian migrants, stuff like that. But you don't have hordes of fucking Jesus Christ zombies or whatever the fuck they describe these people. It's so dehumanizing. When it is, it's very typical. It's nice, D. It's very typical fascist language, actually, when you really break it down. And unfortunately, the U.S. looks like it's really tipping into a fascist state, so that's pretty disturbing.
Over the years,
let me finish my thought, but let me finish my thought. Basically, your enemy is both extremely powerful, so powerful that it's a threat to your very existence, and also the most lazy, servile garbage you could find in the world. The Germans said that about not only the Jews, they said that about the Slavs and everything else, but they basically said that the Jews both control the world and are also subhuman garbage that you wouldn't even step on. You'd think it has logically, you'd think it's one or the other, like you're either in control of the world or you're garbage. You can't really be both. But that doesn't serve the fascist narrative, basically. So essentially, your enemy has to be both all powerful, a real jeopardy to your existence, and essentially threaten the very future of your people, and also has to be so pointlessly servile that you could literally step on them with your shoe and not even notice. And that's why you hear this language, basically. Oh, the Mexicans are taking our gerbs, but they're also complete lazy fucktards that are all addicted to drugs. Logically, it has to be one or the other. But of course,
if you dig into the current border thing, it's not Mexico and Mexicans that are it's Central and South Americans that are literally claiming asylum because the places they're from are just taken over by violence and gangs and all this. And so what else are they going to do? But my partner that's from Germany, months ago, we were talking, he's like, yeah, well, in Germany, like they've had all their history, but the current situation in Germany, there's a lot of, I guess, Muslims or whatever, people from the Middle East that have made their way into Germany. And then, it's the same issue there. Like, these people are over here taken away from the German, like it's just these are things that are part of human nature, right? Like I remember, Al Gore was pretty crazy and whatever, but I remember this speech or something he was into that was basically showing that over the years, the damage of climate change is going to take certain regions, mainly southern regions, and make them arid, like non-habitable. Like what if water isn't there and then people can't live? Like, and then borders don't really matter. Like if something ever happened on Earth beyond, like, people are gonna gravitate to where they can survive. End of story. They don't care about a border. There's water there. I'm headed there. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a pair of pants right there?
No, there's going to be massive refugee crises. That's for sure.
No, I can give you them. So.
Well, you can throw them in if you want.
What am I going to say? Oh, I can't remember. What's up? Oh, Smash.
But like one thing on the national narrative, and especially the Republican, they make it out to be Mexicans come across the border. If you look at the numbers, the Mexicans, it's actually gone down over the years because there's actually a lot of we make all of our cars down there. We make a lot. They've actually life has been worse down there. Like there's opportunity down in Mexico. We have less people from Mexico crossing the border. It's Central America.
Yeah, Mexico is not a poor country. People assume that it's some shithole poor country, but it's not. If you go there, you'll see nice cars. You'll see some really nice cars, of course. There's a lot of problems with the cartel, honestly, around the country. But in places like Mexico City, they don't really. They're not as much noticed. But what am I trying to say? No, it's I don't know. Again, it's this demonizing language that comes from ignorance. In some cases, willful ignorance from people who do know better. But at the very least, it's ignorance. Because, for example, we were talking about this about how people talk shit about California. Fuck, if you came here, you would have a hard time talking shit about it. It's not a bad place. It's palpably not a bad place. I challenge you to come here and not have a smile when you're driving down the PCH or driving down the Sunset or something, driving to Malibu or whatever. Like the weather is spectacular. You see palm trees. Da, da, da. It's nice. It's not a shithole. But you hear people say it's some festering shithole and da da da. They say the same thing about Portland. Portland has its problems, and Portland residents have gotten really fed up with the tent cities and the fentanyl, and the drugs, and everything else. But fuck, we didn't predict the fentanyl crisis. You know what I mean? Like who did really? A few years ago, that hit us like a truck. The city has worked on it, and I think I have seen quite a bit of progress. Not as much as I'd like, of course, but
That's
Portland
not
is not some fucking dumpster fucking shithole. Like it's not, Jesus Christ, it's not on fire. Like the stuff that you hear from people. My mom would call me, back in the day. She would call me and be like, "Oh, I heard that Portland is on fire," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. I'm like, "Everyone's asleep. It's not on fire." "Oh yes, be careful. It's on fire." I'm like, "It's not on fucking fire." Anyway, it's complete ignorance. In that case, it was Russian TV halfway across the world. But you get some fucking senator from Alabama talking about Mexicans. The fuck do they know about Mexicans in Alabama?
Well, I
Jesus Christ.
haven't
What are
Googled
Mexicans
it,
doing in Alabama?
but in the last 48 hours, I keep hearing this strike. What's it called? Strike? Crowd strike? Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. What is that?
It's security software, basically. Like you'd have to be like a big business, basically, to get these guys as a client or to buy their software, because it's the kind of thing that the monthly license is $20,000 or something. Anyway, they provide basically I think back end security for, like I say, any kind of business essentially. So I don't know, if you were a fucking legal cannabis operation that made 2 million a year or some shit, you'd probably use these guys basically to secure your website, secure all your. I don't remember what all they do, but
Well,
basically, the reason why it shut down
imagine
everything
that
is because it
came
was in
from,
the
like,
payment software.
didn't like they have some kind of software glitch that fucked up airlines and all this shit
Mhm.
last week or what?
Yeah, they
So,
pushed out a bad update basically,
which
and
yeah,
that bad
seems to
update,
me that
someone
the
didn't test it.
airline
It was just amazing.
should invest in something that if the main system goes down, they can still function on this other system. But it seems like, yeah, one little thing could glitch off for a minute or two or second even, and then fuck up the whole airlines, and they cancel all these flights. And there's like this whole, what do you call it?
Clusterfuck.
The ball starts rolling, and
Imagine whoever was responsible for that. They're getting not only fired, they're getting like turbo fired.
it seems like we're really vulnerable.
It was weird when it
I
did too.
remember my mom, who was a partner in an accounting firm, and and I used to work in the summers there a little bit when I was younger. But yeah, everything was on paper. Like if you're accounting firm back then, like that's what a bookkeeper. They kept it all ledger. They wrote in pencil. There was these special stationery with all columns and design for all this. And then at a certain point, it was a big thing, like where there was years where they still did it on paper, even though they had a computer system, right? Oh, they no longer do it on paper at all, right? There's no paper, right? And that's pretty much the way the whole world went, like where we're like 1000% dependent on the computer system or this whatever you want, internet basically, to run everything. Like I think I mean, yeah, it seems like any little
still
thing
find-
could happen. And then what happens? Like we lose, like I
You
guess
still
they have
find those little businesses that can write you a paper receipt. It's rare, but they're out there still.
yeah, but back at I don't know 30
Remember
years
the old
ago,
credit card
probably,
scanners? Like they had to
everything was on
copy your
paper.
credit card.
Even the bank did paper, right? Now they used to. Part of my summer job was working with storage. They had these companies and all these boxes, and it was always about the boxes in storage were only as good as the label or like You had to really know what was in each box if you were ever going to be able to pull them out. And that was massive. Like that was like massive amounts of storage of boxes. Legally, I think, especially in accounting, financials, 7 years you have to keep your records. Some people just keep them forever. But yeah, it was all on paper. Everything was on paper. The computers weren't here yet. And then over a few years and now decades, nothing's on paper for the most part. It's all in the computer. Even airlines, they were pre-computers. They ran. I took many of flights back then. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. It was a simpler system, I guess. I don't know, but somehow we're like, yeah, we're really dependent on the computers and them working and them not having any glitches or anything happen to them.
Hey, Smash, you're muted, buddy.
I read a paper the other day saying me and Fumi are about the same age. So they saying our generation is one of the weirdest ones because we're going from like no technology and we've actually like been touching every technology that's come out that has really advanced in the last couple 10, 12, 20 years. I remember the first cell phone that came out. I remember the first, I think I was actually a little bit young. Fumi probably remembers the first Apples and stuff, but I don't remember like the 80s Macs and stuff, but early 90s I remember all those.
Commodore 64.
Well, I mean, it didn't happen overnight, but it happened pretty quick that like we became dependent on computers basically for pretty much everything.
It's advertisement too. They made it. Fumi, you're muted.
There you go.
They made it seem like we needed to upgrade and stuff. When computers first came out, they were like people were in awe, and they were making it seem like everything has to be done on a computer.
Well, okay. The first time I ever played with computer, I just remember this. There was this thing called sysconfig file, right? Right. There was the boot. It was like this weird thing that had limitations. I forget the one sysconfig file was only so many bytes, right? That was the max it could be, right? And that was like, I remember in DOS and like, holy shit, like it wasn't graphical at first, like not at all. The first couple years, at least, yeah, like I've always thought, if we poured as much will and innovation into some of our other planetary issues as we did into the computers, like this, like look over 30 now, I guess we're getting close to 40 years of the invent of a computer. 30 years, really, right? No, a little more than that. But yeah, like that whole thing has come so far. Even at my mom's firm, it was all about disk space, and disk space was expensive as fuck. Now disk space is like, oh, they got the cloud, they got it. Disk space isn't the issue at all. They got terabytes here, there, and everywhere. Even one summer, part of my job there for months was upgrading the computers to. Some people had 286s, some people had 386s. This was a 5-story building of floors of people that work at the firm, big firm. Everyone got a Pentium. Like a Pentium chip came out, in the firm bought all new computer systems, and we upgraded from the 286 to the 386. Got rid of those. they were obsolete already. And most of those were only a couple years old too. Like to where we are today, like I don't even know like where we've gone with chips, but yeah, the old 286, 386, and then the Pentium came out, and then yeah, they just kept evolving, right? It's kind of slowed down now a little bit. Even with phones, it used to be pretty much, yeah, like at least every year they had one out that was like, yeah, you got to upgrade to that. Like the other, I mean, first texting was like through the keyboard where each number had letters and like then 3 letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, and you had to like click one like a certain amount of times to get to that letter. Yeah, that wasn't like that wasn't texting. Like that was like I remember when people first started using that like on a flip phone, and I was like, yeah, this
Yeah,
is
you had to learn a new
pain in
language
the
pretty
ass.
much.
There's no way I'm gonna type a fucking message. Now it's like you can just talk into it, and half the time you just have to type a couple words, and then it'll start suggesting words because it already knows what you say. You said that same thing like 50 times, so it already knows. I'll be there in 10 minutes or something like that. I guess it's all convenient. Sometimes I wonder, most of my traveling and being on the road was pre the computer, right? On Dead Tour. I have foggy memories of back then to begin with, but sometimes I think back and think, how did we used to do it? How did I run into the people I associated with? None of us had a phone, not even a pager back then. It was just like, but we all got by. Like I life. I I don't know. It's not like life's all of a sudden so much better because we have all this stuff. I don't.
Yes, Grim, no.
We used to live just fine without all that shit. I mean, there are some conveniences. There are. I get it. Even myself, I used to be like, I wouldn't be able to utilize functions on my phone because I was too paranoid. And then over the years, I realized, yeah, I like it when it suggests what restaurants are around me, or like letting it do what it can do because it's convenient. But for a lot of years, I was just like super paranoid of all that shit. So I'd turn all that shit off. And then at a certain point, I realized, yeah, location and like the way they now granted it's sales, it's even when I was looking for hydro stores, my partner said, yeah, if you just Google, like I didn't understand what he was saying at first. I guess if you're a business and you don't pay Google, you won't come up on a list, even though you might exist in the area. So I don't think Google started out that way, but now if you're not paying Google, then you won't be listed. Is that true?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I hope not. But it could be. Google's certainly
Well,
been a
I mean,
pointing
that's what
company.
they're in the business of doing, right? Like a lot of these computer things started off one way and ended up another way, right? Like especially
Well,
Google.
and
I
shitification.
remember Google, and I knew a couple of people that were early people that worked there, and they had free childcare, meals. You could eat there 3 meals a day, and there was all this stuff they gave the people that worked there. For some reason, I don't think that's the way it is at Google anymore. That you get free food if you work there.
No, it is. They have like a weird workplace. People call it quirky. They got slides and stuff inside.
Yeah. Well, when
Hey,
that
honey,
first was being developed, it was like, yeah, that they were doing it different than any other company.
Check this out. $80 for 14 grams runs. Not bad.
Yeah. Well, sometimes prices take a little while to trickle down to the retail, but it's been 6, 7 months that I've known that the rosin and concentrate market on wholesale has plummeted. And now in the last few months, I've noticed people like, yeah, you can get what X, Y, and Z for 10, 20 a gram or half ounce for this price and whatever. Because it finally trickled down to the consumer. But like
So
six
I got a
months
strain.
ago, yeah, the price per whatever ounce, kilo, whatever at wholesale, dropped so much. I was like, fuck, shit's only like a few bucks a gram now.
I got a strain called E Code, Sub-Zero OG to Georgia Pie. And then I got another strain called Sherb Pie. Then I got hash rosin gummies, 500 milligrams.
Those are 500 milligrams, but one individual edible that's a big dose.
No, it's a couple, but
Oh,
if you look on my Instagram, I posted a picture. You get one big ass gummy. It's almost 4,000 milligrams.
yeah. Well, I've never really been that big in edibles. It's been decades since I've touched them because yeah, they affect me for days. They make me lethargic. I'm already lazy. An edible, I like the high, the first 6 hours and all that. That's killer. But then 2, 3 days later, I'm always, well, not always, because it's been a lot of years since I indulged. I'd always think, when is this going to wear off? Because most things, even the craziest thing, usually if you sleep it off, the next day you're like, you might be hungover a little, but you're fat. Edibles last on my metabolism, it affect me for days, right? Now my wife, that was her thing. She was really into it, right? She judged a bunch of high times cups over the years, mainly because she was really into it 10, 15 years ago before it was such a thing. And yeah, there back then dosing was subjective to say the least, but no, they would have on the label how many milligrams they estimated or explained. Yeah, when she used to take things that were above 350 to 500 milligrams, yeah, and she was a seasoned pro. That shit would knock her out. Oh, the 50 or 100, 200, yeah, that was good. But once you got up to that 500, I would just notice yeah, it would be Conch City for 2 days. She had super fine long hair that she'd never cut down past her butt. And when she would get conked like that, she would end up with matte. It wouldn't be dreadlocks. I guess if you didn't spend the hours to try to dig it out or comb it out, it'd be the beginning of dreads. It would be matted hair. She'd be so fucked up for 3, 4 days on edible that her hair would get all matted up. And I'd be like, yeah, we're taking that shit, man. And she loved to do that. She'd make her own. That's why I don't take edibles because we grew. We didn't measure. We weren't that scientific, right? And she had access to a lot. And she made things one of her best friends was one of those people that called the paramedics on themselves and went to the hospital because they thought they were dying over just one brownie they ate.
They were one of the people on YouTube, were they?
Dude, did you
No,
hear about the
this
lady? She's
happened a
getting
long time
charged.
ago.
This lady's getting charged
Funny at the
because
time, but yeah, I've
What's that, Smash?
I've
Go
been
ahead.
thinking of trying it again at low dose, and maybe I could enjoy it. But yeah, I had a few of these, like I guess, like overdose type things
Yeah,
years
you
ago,
greened out.
and then that experience made it that yeah, I don't. I've it's been like 15 years since I touched any edible.
So a lady is getting charged with, I think, assault because she dosed all of her wedding food with like edibles and didn't tell anyone, and everyone got super stoned, and people were like had to go to the hospital and shit.
That is pretty messed up, though. Imagine if you were to spike the punch without telling people or something, right? Or oh, there was a famous story. What was it? Oh, it was a fucking movie. It was Killers of the Flower Moon or something. Yeah, it was like a Scorsese movie where somebody on the crew, they still don't know who, dosed everybody with LSD. They basically dosed the punch or whatever at the commissary table, and everybody
Wow.
got mega fucked up. Yeah.
What?
I mean, oh, I tried the best medicated cheesecake today. It was so good.
Right on.
I'm gonna ask him if I could buy a whole one because I didn't want just a slice. I want like a whole cheesecake. So I told him I'll hit him up. I'm gonna see if they'll make me one for my birthday.
Nice.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
this is my
put as much as you can get in that bitch.
yeah, this is my pie. Where's
But
your
there's-
guys' dessert? This is for me. Just sit there with a fork, start eating it.
So yeah,
What kind
I
of
paid a little bit more for the edibles, but it was hash. They're hash edibles. They're not just distillate edibles. Then the only thing I'm disappointed is I grabbed some bud and it looked better in the jar than what they gave me. But whatever. I got carts. I grabbed a bunch of carts. They were $10 a gram.
Nice.
Yeah, these are actual like liquid diamond carts too.
Oh, dude, that's dope.
It was fun. I had a fun day. It was a fun event. Long ride, hour and a half. Not too bad, but I didn't catch any traffic on the way there. I was trying to stop at Shaquille O'Neal opened up a chicken spot in Massachusetts.
Really?
I wanted to. It's called like Big Chicken or something. I wanted to stop there on the way home, but I couldn't tell if it was open.
Mhm. True.
I'm actually people were very impressed with the bud that I was showing. Um, everyone really liked the Wilson Otter Pop. I even had someone ask me if it was sprayed terps fuming.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's a big compliment.
Well, yeah.
I look at him dead in the face. I was like, hell no, I grew that shit in my garden.
Mhm. Yeah, a good opportunity if you wanted to in the future. A good opportunity to say, hey, this is the real advantage of organic growing because that's the real truth of it. You basically get this. Try not to be too loud here. You get this incredible bouquet of terpenes, flavonoids, and stuff that you don't really get with anything else. Definitely not in the same proportion. You can really make a plant sing, I think, with organics. So you could really impress somebody basically who's never experienced that before. Somebody who's only ever had dispo weed and stuff. So, anyway. No, that's cool.
There was some good weed. This G code looks pretty interesting. It's very frosty. It's got a nice smell. They're actually a business too, which was cool. They actually are on weed maps and selling in Maine.
Oh, this was up in Maine, huh?
Yeah, right over the New Hampshire border.
I always forget how close you guys are.
Yeah, it only takes me an hour to get to the main border. New Hampshire's not that big.
It's really interesting how the country is split up. You know, you forget about it sometimes. Like I remember how many times Captain or Hardcore or other people, Southern VT, there's a bunch of people on the show that like to go like, antiquing and, thrift store buying and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about, estate sales and shit like that. And they're always talking about these amazing fucking things that they find, right? And I remember a couple times Captain 420 has told us about like, this one sale he picked up like a fucking 2 Rolex watches. Da, 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 da. And I'm just like,
State
where do these
sales.
fucking people? Where do these fucking people find these estate sales? And then I remember like the fact of the matter is there's a gigantic population divide between East and West, basically. Like essentially St. Louis up and down to the east, and St. Louis up and down to the west. And there are a ton of people in California. There's 40 million people here, da, da, da. But there's like in the one little area of New York and fucking Pennsylvania and West Virginia and all. There's probably 40 million people right in that little tiny fucking area right there. It's really kind of comical, honestly. And so, for example, in California, like to go to the Bay Area, it's a good fucking 10-hour drive from here. To go see Bud, it was 2.5 hours, and he's not even quite to San Diego. All the way to San Diego would have been 3.5 hours. For you, it's like 10 minutes to go to this town, 20 minutes to go to that town. It's kind of funny. Anyway, you forget it's a lot more like Europe, basically. You guys on the East Coast is a lot more like that because, like, you can cross Czech Republic, Slovakia, and probably well into Romania in like 8 hours of driving. You know what I mean? And that's how long it takes you to get to the fucking Bay Area.
If it takes 8 hours from down here to get to San Francisco, it's like 8 more hours to get up to Humboldt.
I might be
Yeah.
able to get.
Yeah.
I might be able to get to Canada in under 8 hours. But I'm in a weird predicament of the East Coast. Like I'm Central Mass, so like I'm in between everything almost.
Mm. Well, that's good too. Anyway, I gotta bounce. I'm gonna make D the host here.
Yeah.
The host. Boom. There we go. Hop on, folks. Join the conversation. Just ask nicely in the chat. The rule basically is now that you just have to ask nicely in the chat. If you've been on the panel before, you don't really have to ask nicely. You can just say, "Hey, can I get a link?" or whatever. Or, of course, I helped Bud finally figure that out. You should have the link saved in your Zoom. Sometimes Zoom wipes the links when you update. So if you don't have any links in there, like, what the hell? I don't see any. That could be why. But in the meantime, we're happy to provide the link. Just like I said, just ask nicely. It's not a big deal. Don't be a dick. Don't show your dick.
To realize that the link was in Zoom, I would always ask. D would always post it. I'd say, "Need a link."
Yep.
And I
No, I
didn't
know.
just click one click and boom. It's weird. Well, I'm old, so learning all this computer shit. I know a lot of people my age, they didn't even keep up as much as I did.
Oh no, I've helped a bunch of people over the years send emails and all kinds of stuff, and you'd think basically that technology is old hat now, but some people are very. My mom couldn't send an email to save her life, so there's a lot of people who are smart at one thing but dumb at many other things, or they just are not very learned at other things. So anyway, it happens. Anyway, so like I said, folks, hop on, join the conversation. Just be chill. Don't come on here to start any fucking aggro weird shit. Come on here for some good vibes and smoke a couple puffs and have a good time. Even have a good conversation. You're welcome to disagree. You don't have to agree with everything we say, of course. But if you do disagree, obviously just be chill about it. That's all. So, folks, with that said, I'm going to take off. I might hop on again later, but first I'm going to try to go to that Chinese lamb kebab place. So we'll see if I get there today. Anyway, enjoy the conversation, folks. Nice.
Be safe, man.
Really?
I just had some chicken tenders from this place called Yes Chicken. Pretty good. They're kind of trying to compete like with Dave's Hot Chicken, but they actually had like chicken and waffles.
Ooh,
They had a whole bunch of different stuff. I want to go back and try it again.
I had hot dogs.
But I had tacos. It was kind of pricey.
Oh,
They hooked me
nice.
up. I gave them a pack of seeds, so they hooked it up. I got 3 tacos for $15, but they were pretty big. Steak tacos.
They come with rice and beans.
No, it was just the taco, cilantro, little bit of rice, and then onion.
Well, that's paying them. Yeah, that's paying a little extra.
It's an event.
Yeah. Oh, an event. Well, yeah. Events are events.
Back it up. Jack it up.
And if they used good meat, then yeah, they had to charge whatever for them.
August is going to be fun.
Yeah, August is almost here, huh?
Mm-hmm. ICTC.
Um,
And
Miranda Family Farms is sponsoring Chirptown Throwdown again, and this year they have Collie Buds and Jizza performing. But it's gonna
really?
be different. So before they had small events leading up to one big event in August. They had like all summer. They had a event like once a month. Now they're just doing one big event at in August, and they moved locations from a small back road town to in Boston. And there's no more like craft growers, it's all dispensary now. So we'll see how it is.
Did you say Collie Bud?
Yeah.
No, that's dope. Right on. Finally, the herb come around.
I'm not even really that big of a fan of. I just go to hang out and smoke with the homies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that last talk on my eyes were running. Oh, I hope Christoph shows up tonight. I gotta ask him something about something I saw that's in France, how they wash their hands. And I wanted to see if it confirm it 'cause it was crazy.
And the Olympics start this week in France.
What was that, bud? You kind of broke up.
I saw this story that I don't know the name of the river, but it's been banned from human swimming in it for like 100 years. And then because the Olympics are coming, they have this massive project to clean the water.
Yeah, it's the river in London.
And then the governor or president or some lady to prove that the water was okay, swam it, the whole press thing. And then I don't know if it was because it was on the Daily Show, so you never know what's true. But I guess then later that day she developed pink eye. Because the Olympic swimming is going to be in this body of water, and some of the swimmers are saying, "Nah, I'm not going to swim in that water. It's so toxic."
So there are people that set up like a protest And I guess there's if you really look into that situation, there's a poop protest.
Uh, the hell? Oh, there we go.
Well, I'm super excited because, okay, surfing is in the Olympics. This will be the second time. That's big.
California.
Skateboarding's in the Olympics too, but surfing's in. The first Olympics, it was in Japan. Not known
Whoa.
to have best waves or anything, and it wasn't, but it happened. Because France is, what do you call it? The French Polynesian island, a part of France. And then this place that's called Chopes, or I can never pronounce it, but it's on this island where that's like the gnarliest, best, two craziest wave in the whole world when the swell's there. So all the surfers have been over there 2 weeks prepping, so there's a lot of content, and it's been like just the epic conditions. But surfing's weird, like yeah, it's only epic conditions when the swells are right, and I'm just hoping that the conditions stay this way for the Olympics that start the 27th. It's like a week from now at Chokes, Tahiti. It's on Tahiti, the backside of this
It's
island.
gonna be interesting to see if they actually swim in that river.
Ew. Pink Eye River? No thanks.
I don't get why they would want to do Olympic trials in a river with current and shit.
Well, let's say that the Olympics are in New York City. Wouldn't that same kind of event have to take place in the, I don't even know what it's called,
The harbor.
yeah,
Arr.
I can't imagine the New York
Arr.
City water is any better. I don't like, maybe.
Yeah, but at least that's an ocean. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably polluted, but this river, like, supposedly, if you look at it in the pictures and stuff, it looks like brown doo doo water.
Oh, just
Well,
like the river in New York.
that story I heard, I said that humans have been, people have banned from swimming in it for 100 years. So 100 years ago, we didn't even have near the kind of pollution we have today. Well, but most likely it was like raw sewage that was polluting it, not uh, companies' pollution, chemicals stuff. Because
We have
even
a
here
river
in San
here.
Diego, one of the best surf breaks, Pacific Beach, that's down below Ocean Beach, down by south part of San Diego. There's this thing called the Tijuana River that starts in Mexico, but then wraps through the United States and then funnels out to the ocean. And that's been like at least a decade. The Mexican water treatment plant that was on that river that cleaned all the sewage water or whatever has been broke for all these years. They never invested in fixing it. And so when there's a certain amount of rain, they have to close like all the beaches south of that river because basically fecal matter and human uh, excrement and shit
Brain eating the
flows out
needle.
when it rains and it flows out to the ocean.
I
Bruno.
always get
And,
this
hey, it doesn't
fucking.
stop surfers. If there's huge waves, there's a whole bunch of guys that will go out there and they don't care if the red flag's up and you're not supposed to go out because it's toxic. Surfers won't, they don't give a
I don't
shit.
know. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in California, but I keep getting these videos of them breaking rivers out to the ocean and surfing them.
Yeah, well, that's a thing in Hawaii where they started there where, yeah, you can just dig a little trench from like through the sand to the ocean. And then if there's like a body of, or a little lake, it's not really a lake. Yeah, the water will start flowing and then create this situation. It gets big too because of the tide change, and they surf that. And then because it's popular there, uh, people start doing that all over. But first off, like a lot of the Southern California beaches have, like, we right here in Oceanside, we have like I think it's a 5 year. It's going to take them 5 years to complete this job, which they dredge sand. There's this ship offshore. They mainly do it at night, but no, they keep the pumps going all the time, and they're like pumping sand from out in the, you know, uh, back onto into the shore to keep the. Well, there's all these $1 million houses that are like shorefront and the beach, and to keep that from like deteriorating away, yeah, they dredge sand and just keep pumping it back up to
Doing it in Cape Cod too, because of the beach just eroding and eroding.
well, I mean, I think humans should be able to accept that, like, one thing that is in constant flux and change is any coastlines around the world. Like, just look at history. Now, yeah, does it happen overnight? No. Like, even here, the Amtrak called the, people love that ride because I forget what it's called, the coaster, or yeah, it goes right along the ocean at parts, right? Yeah, because of the, what do you call it, erosion, and they've done all this they can over the years to shore it up. Yeah, there's the talk and plan. They're going to move the tracks like further away from the coast, which then you wouldn't see the ocean like that. But yeah, yeah, the coast is like, that's what the ocean is always going to win. That's like, oh, down here we have these cliffs and rich people's houses, and they add cement and they put on. Some people do different things to try to shore it up, but over the years, there's been times when big rocks slide down and crash onto the beach, and people have gotten hurt and killed, and times when houses are condemned because, yeah, it like, there's no way you're going to stop the ocean. No way. I mean, well, humans have done amazing things. They can shore things up, and they put it uh, up man-made uh, obstacles that, a lot of that costs a lot of money. Like, even a lot of our piers, yeah, when they finally deteriorate and get washed out or damaged by a storm, then that city or that area decides after like 100 years of having this pier, uh, yeah, they don't replace them.
All right, I gotta call it. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah,
It is fast. Have a good night.
I wonder where the Captain 420 is. I haven't seen or heard of him in a few days for a long
Oh,
time.
yeah, I don't know. I see
I
him
got a
do
text from
live.
Ryan, but I haven't seen Hardcore either.
Hardcore's in the chat. At Captain, I see him. I have seen him do lives on Instagram last couple of days with other people.
What's this to me, D? Oh, and maybe Green Fingers. We could talk him into something. Because I'm going to go water these clones.
Cool,
With
man.
but I don't want to do that if it's just you and me, because then I can't talk and do that.
That's cool, man. Go do what you have to do. I don't mind talking.
A couple minutes isn't going to make a difference. I'm having coffee. I'm getting ready.
Right on. I'm rolling a joint, 24 karat gold. And I still can't taste it, bud. I still can't taste what it tastes like. I can smell it and it gets me high, but there's no taste to me. I lost my taste for this freaking strain. That's crazy. Cheers, everybody in chat. I hope everyone's having a great night. Did I do? Oh, what's it? Yeah, hop on and come hang out. I'm gonna be here for a little bit longer.
Yeah, so mainly because it's this one gas station I frequent for years. And right across the street's this place called Off the Charts. And it's a dispensary. I come to find out a year or so ago, for a while, I didn't know what was going on there, but there's constant traffic there. The parking lots, people coming and going, in and out of this place. I've been close. I haven't stepped foot inside a legal place since probably like 2015, maybe. Like, I mean, I grow my own. I don't have much reason to. During Prop 215, I associated with them because we could do business. Can't do that anymore. But I've been really curious about this place. One of my good friends I saw yesterday, somehow I told him about it. And he's like, oh, I went in there a couple months ago. And he kind of knows, he knows me. He's one of my good friends. He's like, dude, there's no reason to go in there. Every single thing in that store is in a packet. You just get to pick which packet, like whether it's a flower, tart, edible, rosin. I'm like, no, do they have jars or anything? He said, no. Most of it's in Mylar. Some of it are jars, but they come in a box, right? And they have a seal on it. It's like, you just know what brand you want. He said that one time he bought a couple things, said it was all right. He bought the most expensive shit, got a couple kinds. He said it was all right. Yeah, then I guess there's no reason for me to like window shop, or I'm always curious what goes on in those places, right? But like if it's just to look at a bunch of Mylars and packaging, like what is that? I can see that on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know the
like, well, I mean, I guess I know because my wife used to order some pretty expensive bottles of wine at times at certain restaurants, and there'd be this thing where they'd come out and they'd pour just like a couple sips and basically wait for you to say, "Oh, that's good." She never said, "Oh, I don't like that." So but I guess that's this ritual where you taste it, and then if you don't like it, you can say you don't want the bottle. I don't know, but other than that, alcohol you don't get to like. Oh, it's all sealed and has a seal on it. Cigarettes are same. Yeah, I don't ever. I don't think I. I think people that run the stores are happy with it just the way it is. Because if they had to display it and this and then all these people sticking their nose in the jar or touching, that's just a big pain in the ass. And since they eliminated it, I don't think like store owners, other than it could be a helpful way to make a sale, like you know, like but like if customers only really can just choose branding and what name? I don't know. Like that seemed pretty weird.
Cheers.
Cheers, Green Fingers. What's going on, buddy?
What's up?
Hey, man.
Not much, man. Getting ready to smoke.
Exactly. I'm rolling up some 24 karat gold.
Same batch as last time.
No. Like the
You're like,
taste
heck
a
no.
little
I already
different.
fucking rolled all that up
This
last.
tastes a little stronger.
Nice. Does
Like
it
the
taste better?
flavor. Yeah.
That flavor now? Good.
But the thing that sucks is the Cushman's kind of went shittier.
Mm.
Oh, this batch is really shitty, so I'll still smoke it, but I'm
Yeah.
smoking that 24 karat gold.
Oh, shit.
HI
Good stuff.
Kushfire.
Smoking
Yeah,
the
Coaster
heat.
Crush Pet G.
I don't have it. I gotta go get a nug. I'll be back. Thought I had a nug sitting
Alright.
on the table. I do not. I'll be back.
It's Coaster Crush Cross with Tangy. Pet G. That's what 24 karat gold is. Hey, Mrs. D.
DNA genetics.
Exactly. DNA genetics. Yes,
They've
ma'am.
been around a long time. Don and Aaron. Yeah.
And when I first got their stuff, I was pretty amazed from when I grew the citrus sap. That shit was all tangy and all gorilla glue. Like the smell of
Oh,
tangy, but like the power of gorilla glue, which was like a surprise because tangy was never like that. It was never like that. And then when it was, I was like, oh my god, this citrus sap is amazing. Okay. Yeah.
I had some Tangy that was pretty citrusy. It was too citrusy, actually.
Yeah, see, this had that gorilla on the back end, so it was like all nice and powerful too. Got you high for more than just like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Gorilla Glue number 4. Dude, okay, Jack Beanstalk says he's talking about some shady stores. So I go into this one, here's my story about some shady fucking stores. I go into this place that I found out that, well, this is pre-legalization. So everything was like gray area. Cops can still bust you, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, going to the store, it was like, looks like this nice store, had like these glass displays and shit. And they had like these bongs and hookahs on each one of them. That was it. Nobody at the cash. And all I hear is, come to the door. Come to the door. And it was like this locked down, heavy duty steel door. Then I open it and here's this friggin' office. And it was the canvas room. You go, like, what do you need? I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, man. It's like tripped me the fuck out. It's like I was standing at the door for like standing in the store waiting for somebody to come out for like 2 to 3 minutes before I heard anybody. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, and so this guy comes, I go back and there's all those different weeds and hashes and shit. I'm like, in prices, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. No brains today, Grant Welder. We're fresh out. But yeah, that's some crazy shit.
Well, I imagine like most people that consume weed, That's all they do. They buy weed once in a while when they have extra money. They don't grow. They're not that interested in everything, and they're just casual weed users. Going into a store and then having all these products and all that, that's got to be like, yeah, the greatest thing in their life. Like,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Right on J5. J5 is still alive. Oh, it's J5. Careful. What's everybody in chat smoking on? I got 24 karat gold right now. I don't remember, Grant. That was like over 10 years ago now.
And the best thing for the legal market is that people can not only use their bank card, they can use their credit card to pay for weed.
Yeah.
I only accept cash. But cash is dead. Cash used to be the king. Cash is king.
Wow, ultra sour. Wow, what? Ultra sour. Haven't had that in a minute. That's one I gotta be careful with.
I just want Julius Caesar from the Kelly Connection. It's like one of my favorite things right now too. Accidentally pulled down 2 branches, put in a scrog on about a week, 2 weeks. No, it's about 3 weeks early. And yeah, still fire, super fire. Holy shit! I can't wait till it's ready. Can't wait till it's supposed to be pulled down.
Amy Aces, I've heard of that.
It's
That's
from the American one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Town.
I got a pack from Buddy Kilowatt he gave me. He's like, here's the Amy Aces that you've been asking for. And
Nice.
he gave me like all the first seeds I grew in his house. Like all the first stuff I ran in my room.
Yeah, I grew Amy Aces. It was killer. I remember it being one of the weeds that when you rolled a joint, like a couple hits in, the tip would already have like resin spitting out of it.
Just the tip.
Just the
I
tip.
remember years ago, a lot of weeds were that way. Even though today weeds look crustier than ever. Crust doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have like resin spitting out the end of the joint. But there used to be some weeds that weren't even that. They were outdoor, humble. Just, I mean, in today's world, they were okay. They were good. Yeah, you could barely even hit a joint of that shit. It would stain your lip and your hands. Super resiny. Somehow we've gotten crustier weed, but when you roll joints, they don't like get resiny like they used to. At least I know that. Not that they're not good, tasty, and killer weed.
Yeah.
No, and like that's probably a trait that just slowly got bred out. Because that's why a lot of people don't like to smoke joints. It would make their hands weak, right?
That's how my name was.
Resin will come out of joints.
Yeah. My name was Green Fingers from some girl being like,
hey,
weed you give me makes my
you had to roll a certain way or it wouldn't even smoke. Like it would smoke, but it would clog up. Like you'd have to cut the end of the tip off because it just was gooey as fuck.
Yeah, your roach had to get. Yeah, you had to. You had to circumcise the tip. What we used to say, circumcise it. It'd be like it's too resiny.
Yeah.
Snip it off. Like,
snip.
Yeah. then the mouthpieces came into play, and that changed the whole game. So like you didn't have to worry about it. It was just like you put a crutch in, your lips turned fully resonated right in the middle, or in your teeth. Your teeth had to stain on it, and that's very rare now. Like really rare. Even in the Mexican bricks that we used to get, you'd get the most resin on that shit. You get a fat resin ring on that shit.
Right on.
The same with the Julius Caesar. You get a resin ring with
When
this
I was
one.
like a long hair, crazy hippie on tour. Yeah, I used to have like, and other people, I like on the one side of my mouth, because that's where I predominantly would hit joints. My lips were stained, right? And yeah, your fingers too. But yeah, that you could always spot other fucking total stoner freaks because they had stained lips from smoking resiny ass fucking weed, green bud or whatever. Back then it wasn't like strains, just what was I yeah, good green bud. Yeah, I guess there was names, probably. There was some resiny weed.
Mm. And now I want to get some white runs because the pet G. White runs to some fire. We had some white runs in Me's. The Hard Knock pre-roll. Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored at all. But yeah. A while ago we had a white run, so it was fire.
Yeah, 4 years ago I had that, the white runs, and then the runs crossed into like so many different strains. It was from modern epigenics.
J1 runs that you had, that was fire.
Yeah, that was killer and grew it for there was no reason. I don't even know. I just moved on. Like sometimes I think back, like, well, why am I? Some of those I kind of wish I had back at the moment.
Yeah,
But
that shit was crazy.
Yeah, me too, man.
over
It
time,
freaked me
like,
out and
yeah,
it made me throw up.
how do you end
It
up
was so
growing
good.
so many different
I was like,
ones unless you let certain ones go? That's just how it goes.
yeah, that stuff greened me out so bad. Or I went and puked. I was like, man, this is the only stuff that's made me throw up in so long. I was like, this is crazy. It just made me start. I was like, I'm too high. I'm too fucking high. I need fresh air. Couldn't get fresh air fast enough. I was like, I couldn't get fresh air fast enough. Same with the Afgooey that you gave me. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. Or Afgoo. That's what it was. It said Afgoo on the jar, on the bag.
After is good. I've had after before. Not bug kilowatts, but I've had after and it's pretty good.
Found all these bags looking over, cleaning everything up. Found like so many of them. I don't remember even smoking any of these names. Holy shit.
Damn J5. J5's got some white runs crossed with black velvet going. That sounds like some good shit. I don't know what black velvet is. Sounds crazy. Star cross. Cool. I haven't watched Remo in a very long time. Have to catch up on him one day.
Man, I smell sulfur and I did not spray anything. It means it smells like that outside. That sucks. Egg farts tonight. The Salton Sea smells like egg farts. Damn. Yeah, it just came on strong. That's crazy.
Yeah, we get this sewage smell from the air. I say it's the next town over every time.
Nice.
But yeah, gross.
Oh, my nostrils have been burned with sulfur. It's like I just lived next to my own house. Like, it's all I can smell now.
Mm.
Good stuff. while I was right. I haven't seen that
Nice.
color like for a while. All I use is the LEDs. There's some LEDs.
Ripples.
I used to use these little blurple bulbs that you screw into any fucking
Really?
yeah. When I first started with the veg indoors, I needed to keep plants around.
Yeah.
That was so long ago. That was so long ago. The blurples, fucking crazy.
That's what my light is upstairs. I didn't know at
Yeah,
first.
you might get a for a veg because they're cheap and it's like
Hmm.
not bad, you know. They're not bad. I don't mind the color. I just close the door.
Yeah.
Gets the job done.
Yeah, man. Ouch. All right, time to roll Mrs. D. Mrs. D wants another joint. She wants her own joint. So we're gonna roll her some. You can read that.
I don't think I have enough to roll to the next.
Moon.
Another month from now,
Moon something.
drying
The
stuff.
hell?
I got dabs for days.
Nice.
I
Oh,
got
Moonbow. I will place another order.
got diamonds.
Oh, nice.
Shit, I smoked all that one. Let me open the next one. Thank you.
Next. Next.
Still in the package. Birthday? No, ice cream cake.
No fucking get closer to the door. With extra fine. I got all this extra fudge that it's like not the greatest, but it's good for keeping for troubled times. I can compile a lot of it. They give you free every time I place an order with these guys. Free half ounce. Right on. Oh, I'm watching the playback. That's funny. Right on. Green fingers. Oh, just hold that dab up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the playback too. I wasn't trying to. I was just reading the stuff, and you said that, and I saw the container pop up. I was like, oh, nice.
Sometimes I focus on the replay. I forget. It's down. I gotta look lower. Screen's
Yeah,
down here.
dab. Then I just noticed how high I am. I was like, I really don't. I don't need a dab right this second. I can wait. Okay. If I take a dab, I'm gonna be talking for the next. I won't be talking at all anymore. So that doesn't do me any good when I'm on a show because I just shut up when I get too high. I want to say something and I'm like, nah, I'm too high to say anything.
Yeah.
So the Gatorade fruit punch, and then I put a little clove extract in there for the essential oil. That's just my favorite drink. That's my favorite drink. Clove by itself, I can't take it. It's so horrible.
My favorite drink right here.
That's not really my favorite drink. It's just the most healthy thing that I took today. Gotta take the clove. I take burdock root. Take all that weird stuff. Try to stay healthy.
Yeah, man. Oh shit! See, I never got to the mailbox today. I have to take a walk to the mailbox after. You never know when there might be some mail. Fan mail.
Speedy delivery. Speedy delivery.
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers.
Wait a minute.
I don't want to open this one, so I won't.
True. I'm gonna roll this up so we can roll this up a joint.
When is the full moon? It looks pretty full tonight.
Might be tonight.
Yeah, Bud's got it going on, Grant.
Tomorrow night.
Ah. Well,
I didn't have no room to plant no seeds this time for waiting for the next bag of soil to come in, so I could have to wait till the next full moon, which I should do anyway. If it's full. Got a lot of stuff going in now.
yeah, I've planted seeds or germinated them starting on the full moon a bunch of times, and a bunch of times I just germinated them whatever day it was. Mhm. Yeah, I've never noticed. Oh, the ones I did on the full moon like performed better. Nah, I mean I get the idea of it. I'd like to believe there's something to that, but yeah, I've never seen anything tangible from that.
Yeah, I can roll that. Alright, I'm gonna roll this. What a shitty roll. Holy fuck.
Go lay down. There you go. I think he wants me to make the bed. Not ready for bed. Dog.
Yep, dog. Alright. Take two.
All right, time to water these babies.
Right on.
It'll be the first, like, yeah, since we took them, which is, I think that's on, I don't know, probably about a week. But they didn't need it until I think they need it now.
Yeah. There we go.
Wow.
There we go. That's a bit better. Oh, here's some news for everybody living in Ontario. The strike's over for the liquor LCBO. They'll be back. The liquor stores will be back open Tuesday. Beep 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 beep. Breaking news. Beep 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 beep. We The 2-week flower. Right on, Pet G. Pet G's 2-week flower. Flower. Hey, Mrs. D. Yeah, man. Welcome to the island. Now I'm gonna smoke some. What's this? Yeah, oh. Ganja Lion. Yeah, it was crazy. The liquor stores were on strike. Which didn't affect me too much because I don't drink. So. Now, if the cannabis people never strike, then we'd have a problem.
Well, I still remember, I think it was a big thing that ended up happening when COVID and they locked everyone down. The first few days, it was everyone, and then they deemed certain things essential business, and then the cannabis was made in California, I think other states too, essential.
Like
Well, they
when
made
everything was locked down, it was only like grocery and whatever. Oh,
Strip club too. They were essential.
yeah, they knew that.
Girlfriend still had a job.
Yeah,
She still had a job. That was awesome.
Yeah, like that. That's a
Strip clubs,
fact. They
yeah.
had that one right. Can you imagine if they like somehow cut off all those people from cannabis? People would have went
well, they
nuts.
had the liquor store and the beer store here when they had everything shut down. They were essential, just because of like all the alcoholic people. If they
Yeah,
ever stopped drinking, they could see tea.
yeah.
All right, I'm rolling up the 24 karat gold for me. Oh, with that other shit. It might have to go back to the store, maybe. Maybe I'll just keep it and smoke it last. We'll see. I'm not sure the return policy for these guys.
Ours has
Yeah,
3-day return policy at some other places.
really? Holy
Yeah, I
shit.
think in California, it's no return policy, period. Something like that.
For the legal market, it's you can return the item. Like it has to be here. I'll show you. Yeah, here I'll use this.
Yeah, I guess it's complaint period, not return, but like you can complain about it and then they'll give you a refund of something worth the same. They'll give you like an eighth worth the same amount if you didn't like it, but you get to keep it. So yeah.
Well, so the illegal market, you get something like this in a container. It has a lid on it, sealed, so I can't put my lid. But you can return it. You can only return it if it's unsealed. If it's bleh, it has to be sealed still, and unopened, and have a receipt, or else too bad. That's the legal market. Now, for the certain delivery services, like the other guys I use, they'll say, "Yo, smoke up to like or the 0.7 or something, or 1.7, and if you don't like it, we'll take it back or exchange it,"
Exactly.
which is pretty dope. I like that. These guys, I'm not sure. I have to look it up and see what this says, because these are different guys I've been using. Where the hell's the papers? Oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna get the joint roll. And then I'm gonna crack a new fresh pack of papers shortly. Nice crisp pack. Oh, 12:19, everybody. Got a minute? Nice, perfect timing. Good job, Pat G. Cheers, everybody. 4:20 somewhere.
Sure.
Fuck. See, now I'm trying to hurry and I'm spilling it. There we go. $4:20 Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday now. Here too. Not 4:20, but yeah. Oh, I guess Christoph. Must be still too early for Christoph. Yeah. CHR. Nice, Pet G. I love hot weather. What's the temperature where you are? Is it like over 100? Like friggin' California? That's awesome weather. I want
Yeah,
Fire.
here, take this one. It's an extra.
Alright, cool. Oh, my old TV.
104, 104 degrees
Nice.
at the moment. At 9:20 in the evening.
Dude, that's all. I like that weather. Wish I was here. Wish I was here all the time. I could do without the snow.
The air conditioner is doing overtime today.
That's one good thing about California. No snow. Unless you go like to the mountains or
Unless
whatever,
you
right?
go to it, yeah. Like it doesn't just happen unless you live where it just happens. It doesn't just happen though.
Yeah, see, I like that. No
Yeah.
snow.
To go to
No
where
shoveling.
I don't know if I could do
Here's the
cold.
captain.
It's too cold.
Yeah. This is the captain. Captain, my captain. Captain Crunch. Some people call him Captain Crunch. The rest of us just call him plain old Captain 420.
There we go. Why the hell was I muted? Yeah, that's one thing I'm lucky is the house that my mom bought. No more shoveling the driveway. It's too big.
That's what she said. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know, because I had to shovel the damn driveway.
Yeah, I can do without snow. That's one good thing about not living in Michigan. They have lots of snow too.
Well, you should get some there.
Yeah, I know. We get enough.
We get enough.
No, exactly. Sometimes.
Oh, man. Seen Seals tonight. Went to the Grateful Fest. Seen Keller last night.
Right on.
Costa Cuca today.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Man, these bands got to get back onto, hey, listen, a lot of these songs weren't played with like a Fender. which has a completely different sound than a Gibson.
Right.
And when the sound guy turns everybody's instrument up to the same thing, it really sucks.
Yeah, man. Nice, Pet G. That sounds nice. The weather sounds nice there to me. Hang on, I'm mute.
I sure hell like to be someplace about 100 degrees.
You need to go to California. 101 or something, or 102, where Green Fingers is right now. Like you said.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's 63 here.
It's look. Sounds Celsius or Fahrenheit. Oh, 66 here.
Well, it'd be pretty hot if it was 66.
666, yeah.
Considering what 100 and or 42, 43 is 104, 106.
No, 66 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, but what if it was Celsius?
Oh, if it was Celsius, it would be uh, um 19 Celsius.
Moo, 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 baby, baby, moo,
Yeah, I wish he talked like that to me.
moo, baby, baby.
So there's a lot of people growing weed, but there's still a lot of people growing mids.
Yeah, man.
The worst part is they think it's like the greatest thing in the world, and it's like, damn, you don't remember my weed from 20 years ago? Show me something with trichlomes on it. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
Fucking shit, bud. The fucking quality of tie dyes has slipped, but I did notice that someone's using my color palette. I think my ex-partner came back and taught some people how to tie dye, but they still can't do anything cool. But at least their creases are tight. Bud mixing up a potion there or what?
calibrating my pH pen.
Ah,
Love potion number 9.
Which I already calibrated. Now I'm just double checking that the reading the 4 at 4 and the 7 at 7. And it pretty much is. This one's super accurate. It's real. This company doesn't even really market to the hydro. It's water treatment people and called Micron. I've had just when I pulled up because I pulled it up its little website to read the directions, even though I've used this thing for so long. I don't know why I think I need to read the directions, but well, because I started doing it on my own with 4 and then 7. But when I read the directions, it said start with 7 and then go to 4. And there's like a software within it. Even though it read 4, it was calibrating the 7 at 4 until I redid it. So reading the directions was good. But yeah, this pen today, I don't think I paid that much, but $250. But it's super accurate to the 1,000. And I don't have to calibrate it that often either. And I had 2 of them. I don't know where the other one is. One of them's probably 10 years old. One of them's 7 years, somewhere around that. Where, oh, I have a whole box of Hannah, fucking Blue Lab. Fuck, those things suck. They need to be calibrated constantly. Yeah. Find out that, oh, if you look outside the hydro store business, yeah, there's a whole bunch of companies that make things that
Oh
are the
yeah.
same thing. Like, oh, they just don't market like, yeah, this place, if you really look at their website and everything, it's called Myron L. Myron L. MRON -L. They make pens that beyond I only have the pH one. Some of those other ones are really expensive. They have ones that do dissolved oxygen. They have ones that do ion exchange, like uh, all these kind of things that are for like water treatment people. Like their main customers are water treatment uh, facilities. They're like like the standard. Oh, there's a few other companies even make better ones, lab equipment. Yeah, Hannah and those are plastic bullshit. And every so many years, I take it in the place, the actual company's headquarters is in Carlsbad, not that far from here. I've taken them in, and then it was pretty expensive. It was about $75 each, and they put new sensors or whatever, new capsules. But pH, yeah, kind of. I think it's important. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people that like to say, even in soil or dirt or in anything, the water that you're giving the plant, pH, I mean, pretty simple. Most people on here already know that there's like a science chart that shows you all the elements, nitrogen, all the macro and the micro elements, and at what pH range they're the most available. Which, we run between basically 5.7 and 6.3, or 5.5 and 6.5 is kind of the range, is because that's where the most of all those elements, minerals, are most available. It's like you give up a little on a couple of them. It's like a compromise because, you go lower. Well, these ones are more available. These ones are less available, right? You go off the chart, some things become non-available. A lot of times when like I'm pretty much dialed, so it's not like but over the years, there's things go awry. Plants are not the right shade of green or different things. My first thing would be, oh, try to adjust the pH. It might be like, oh, go down a point or two or go up a few points before you start amending it, right? Because a lot of times, oh, you have what the plant's lacking. And some of this over the years, here it's RO water, so whole different story. But my other places, I've been on tap water, and there would be like a time in the year you wouldn't know it. They wouldn't even announce it. I guess maybe if you went to their website, they would go off of like the local reservoir of water and then they would change where the supply of the water they were giving you came from. And a lot of times, how I like, and I lived in the same places for a lot of years. And it would always be like late summer when they switched to like whatever their storage water. That would be it. They'd be most of the year they'd be on like the aquifer water. Then at a certain point in the summer, they'd start giving you the stored water. They had tanks and reservoirs. And yeah, the pH would jump. Well, yeah, I don't even really pH. Like I change reservoirs constantly. I count on, well, I used to when I was younger. Yeah, I would test it. I text it the next day. I'd be testing all the time. Nah, I don't. For our room, I haven't checked any of those pHs in any of those reservoirs because we did when we first started going along. But like once you put X, Y, and Z into our water, like it's just like what do you expect it to come out different? You know what I'm saying? It comes out the same. Oh, so it became a thing where all you would do, you'd make a thing of water, and then you'd test. It would be exactly what you thought it would be, because that's what that recipe like. Yeah, it becomes redundant to check it, right? But oh, if there's an issue with plants, oh, that's the first thing you got to start checking. And a lot of times, the little adjustments there, that's all it takes. And sometimes those adjustments, yeah, water doesn't always, the tap water especially, yeah, there's a little bit of fluctuation in its pH coming to you.
Cleveland 7.0.
Like it's weird because tap water over the 5-7 days of being in the reservoir, its pH would drift up. So a lot of times I make things at like 5-7, knowing on day 5 it would be up at like 6-2. Now RO water, the opposite. You make it at a certain pH, say you make it at 6-2. By the 5th day, sometimes with RO water, the bottom drops out of it. Like it'll be like 4 point something.
Me.
Right?
And
Even
my
with the
shadow.
pH up and down, like if I need to bring 50 gallons of water, RO water up, oh, it takes a decent amount of pH up. If I need to bring it down a couple points, the same down, like
Drops.
yeah, like the down is so effective inside RO water, up less effective. Meaning that yeah, I have like a 2.5 gallon jug of up and only a 1 gallon jug of down. And yeah, you only need like drops, like you said. Like which is weird because you think like like in tap water, it's kind of equal. Like, oh, for the life of me, I've always added pH by the cap. Like, so, like when I made on tap water, make 50 gallons, it needed 4 caps of pH down. For whatever reason, I was trying to go up. It would take like a cap as a cap, up or down, but not in RO water. Like there's probably some scientist guy or water guy that could explain exactly why that is. One, there's really nothing for it to bond to. Most of like I don't use pH up or down in flowering because silica does that. Silica's the up. So there's anywhere from 150 to 100 milliliters per 50 gallons, but not Power SI and those silicas. They aren't as like, they're harder to just plain old silica, like the Protect or GH. They both make silicas. Like, yeah, that some of this in RO water is I'm not smart enough to explain. It's like our water doesn't have anything in it, so things don't have anything to bond to. And like once you put the nutrients in, that kind of like creates like, yeah, that sets the pH. That and for the, like I say, RO water, 50 gallons over 5 days in flowering can bottom out on you. Oh, not if you put silica in it. It like keeps it steady the whole time.
I love silica.
That's how I, you know.
I do so much drying back. Silica is like my best friend.
Well, and I've used a lot of those, what they call potassium silica or silica potassium, whatever. That's like Power SI, and there's a bunch of brands that's really effective stuff. Like you really see the thickening of the stock and stuff when you use it. It's also pretty expensive stuff. Yeah, pre those companies coming out, it was just like silica. I don't know what, like I'm not a nutrient expert on it, but I know that there's different kinds of silica. Yeah, and, I was talking to this guy at the store. I've always liked and would love. I use GH products more than I don't. Like I've tried a lot of things, but like the Flora series, got that shit dialed in. It's what I've been using predominant. There's a lot of years where I wanted to use cutting edge, mainly because dude John, or the guy that owns the place, he used to work at General Hydro when he was a young guy or something like that before he opened his own thing. A couple of his products are like named after Grateful Dead songs because, oh, he's a deadhead. So yeah, there were years I was like, fuck GH, I'm gonna use cutting edge. And it worked. It's 3-part, it's similar, same shit. All the lines are basically same shit, a little bit different. NPKs and stuff, microsats are a little different. And it grew great big weed and all this, but I remember like there was something missing in that. I'd smoke it and be like, I I've grown this weed before. It comes out like stony or better. Like this is like years ago, repeatedly. Because there were times like, oh, I went back and said, yeah, I'll fucking give cutting edge a shot. I didn't know this until a couple days ago. Like GH's 3-part, that's mineral. That's real mineral, right? They make the stuff from mineral. Cutting edge, their whole line is synthetic. They make that stuff like synthetic, right? Not that it doesn't work. I've seen it work great, but like, and yeah, no, I stopped using it because the weed was like wasn't as good. Like, and I'm thinking when the guy told me at the store, he says, "Yeah, that's a synthetic line." I'm like, "Oh, really? It's not a mineral line?" And he's like, "No." Then I was like, "Oh, that explains it." All those times I dove in and really wanted to use Uncle John's blend, and I never used the sugary, but I supported. I wanted to support that company because he's a deadhead. I never knew it was synthetic. Not all mixers.
That one had a short fuse to it.
Which a lot of people talk online and call all like hydronewt synthetic, but actually most of them aren't synthetic at all. They're mineral derived. The same minerals you're trying to derive through amendments and good soil minerals.
God damn, I hate these fucking bags. And they make them old people proof. Fuck.
So Cap, now it's been what, 2 or 3 weeks? You're back in the States?
Yeah,
You're,
3 weeks.
are you over it, or you glad you're back, or
No, I miss it a lot.
now wait, overall, are you
Especially
smoking
right.
better over here, or are you smoking better over there? Not about how much it costs, quality.
Well, considering I had to go to Michigan to get some quality, yeah, over there was better because I could just order it and it was at my door the next day and I didn't have to do anything. But yeah, like I was saying, shit, people used to buy weed off of me and they're like saying how good their weed is. And I'm like, holy fuck, guys. You're rolling up big ass joints now, and I'm still not really getting high. Or I'm not getting the high that I'm looking for. Let's put it that way. So I'm literally thinking about running back up to Michigan. Actually, bud, I got a really big favor. There is a music festival in my hometown in Southern Ohio. But see this guy named Warren? He's playing Cleveland Friday night of the music festival. I'd be willing to give up Friday night if I could have a ticket to the Cleveland show.
Is it the Philharmonic or is it
Yep.
just a,
Yep.
huh?
It's the Philharmonic part.
Well, text me and tell me the date and I'll ask.
All right, it's like the 26th.
Oh, less than a week?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I went on
Well, send me
I went on Live
actual, like,
Nation.
details. It's at this
And
city, this venue on this date.
yeah,
Because that's
I'll
what
say
I'll like ask it. Yeah, Warren's been like he's not hasn't been out with Government Mule that much lately because he's out with the Warren band,
yeah.
which changes around. But there was a run of shows where Slash was also in the band, and yeah, fuck a lot of people. I Slash is a shredder. Like he's one of the top notch guitar players, period. And so for Warren and Slash to be getting down, jamming together, that was pretty good. I didn't go. I should have, but they played LA, but I just couldn't get
Yeah, I would have made the drive up to LA to
Somebody's
see
doing the
Slash and Warren
Philharmonic
play.
thing, which yeah, that's always cool.
But
When
I
the
really want to
Philharmonic,
see the Philharmonic because they're going to do 2 sets with them, and then it's going to be the Warren Haynes band for third set.
yeah, yeah. He's in the Midwest. He's like, I saw some of his dates. Yeah, he's out there working.
He's got 3 shows in Ohio. He's Hubert Heights is Columbus, and then he plays Cincinnati, 26th, 27th, and 28th. Now, this festival is only like an hour and 45 minutes from Columbus and 2.5 hours to Cincinnati. But I think I want to see the Cleveland show. And I'll just drive down to on Saturday to Southern Ohio for the festival.
Festival. Who are the headliners at the festival? What kind of festival?
It doesn't matter. It's the people that I've got to meet.
All right.
People my mom went to school with. So maybe those older genetics are still around. They're just put back someplace because they're growing this new shit. That's what I'm hoping. I'm also hoping that they got better weed too. You still got some of that I-95, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I've kept it going. I don't know for how much longer. It's not like I like it. Like but it's not going to be scalable. It's not going to look good in Turkey. You'd have to appreciate it for what it is.
I-95, it can have sugar coat leaves on it. I don't care.
But, doesn't trim to like.
I want the high. I don't give a fuck how it looks.
Yeah, well, but that's part of the. I used to not give a fuck about what business dictated but in today's world, oh no, you have to like. There's a certain. There's
Hey,
like
if
these
you don't
certain
like my
boxes, like at
trimming,
least
move
here in
on.
California, where it's super competitive and there's so many. You know, yeah, you're competing against so many people with the same thing. And the customers, they like this certain look. They like
I
this
groped it.
certain chunk. Like they don't even like buds that big. Like they like oh I get it because you know yeah
I like big buds.
they don't want the heady pieces. They want you to like knock all that, take the stem out. Oh, because that is a gram or two there, a gram or two here. Whoever's
On ounces.
as it goes down the line, somebody has to take that hit because people buy like small amounts of weed, right? Eights. And the legal market, yeah, they sell like little like 1 gram knots, like everything's like that. So I remember customers would like trip if there weren't like a percentage of head nugs in the pound.
Yeah,
Because they thought, oh, well, where's all the heady pieces?
exactly, man. Where's those 4 or 5 inch buds?
Now, I've kept a lot of heady pieces. I actually think the best heady pieces aren't the ones right up on top. It's
Right underneath that.
Yeah, those little pieces are
Yeah.
usually tastiest and best overall.
You're not going to get any of those buds out of any of my harvests because those are the ones I keep. Those are the ones I like. Yeah, I got an eighth from a dispo and it's motor banger. So it's motor breath times whatever banger. And yeah, I've got probably a 3 gram bud in my hand. So in Michigan, you do get a little bit headier pieces. That was if I got that in my quarter, or even like yeah, 2 of them and a half ounce, I'd be happy with that. So that's what we're getting ready to smoke for the end of the night. Little Afghani with a little new shit. I do like my flour mill though.
What the flour mill? It's like the grinder.
It kind of like, yeah, but really learned how to use it in Thailand because my friend bought one of the high end ones, so it came with like 4 or 5 different size holes. Well, they like the small one. And for my weed, I liked the little bit bigger one because it was sticky. So I got used to using it over there, but I found out that you shouldn't like rotate it. You should do like quarter to half turns with it and just go back and forth. And then when it's all the way done, you can hear it, basically kind of like grinding on metal. But for rolling joints, it leaves it, still kind of a little bit chunky. But I'm all right with that. It just means more trichlomes are intact. But it's not like the other grinders where you put shit in and it's like, holy shit, I can't fucking turn this thing.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
it's got to be like 25 years. I've only used one grinder, and I've maybe had to buy new ones once or twice along the way. Yeah, it's called Space Case, and they're like a small company. They're basically in San Clemente, but I just ordered them online. They don't cost that much. But like when I use other people's grinders that are like knockoffs of that design or other ones, yeah, not all grinders are created equal.
Nope.
Sometimes like Yeah, certain grinders will like make the weed fucking like whatever. The joint tastes shit.
Like powder. Especially these LED lights. In Thailand, I roll a lot of that shit. Put in a grinder because I didn't know where the other one was, and turn it all to powder.
Yeah, space case. I think this is called the 3 inch. They have a bigger one. They have them with keep catchers and stuff. Yeah, this is my home one. And then I have a silver one that's in my backpack. And then, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. When I go to the house, they're like, here's their tray and this and that. I'm like really particular with the kind of paper I like to smoke with and the grinder.
They call me Mr. Coffee because I grind so fine. Yeah.
It's just a simple one. Like it's not that complicated, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think I gotta go. Well, actually, no, because we're getting really close, and I think I can like put up with the light depth that I have. But it's looking like the start of the second week of August, I'll be able to come out.
Yeah, I'm around.
I need some of that dry flower of the I-95, though, by the way.
I'll try to keep some aside. I don't even know if any's in the cycle at the moment.
Because that's actually medicine for me.
Holy shit,
I-
1 o'clock.
Wake up in the morning and smoke that with my coffee. I-95 is not a coffee weed for everybody in the morning. I found a lot of my weed people don't like smoking in the morning. That's what I said, D. What the fuck?
Exactly, Captain.
You call your pot smokers, but damn, picky.
Yeah. Looking at mom.
I pretty much just smoke pot all day long. Like
Me
within
If
too.
I had it, I would.
like maybe 3-4 sips into the first cup of coffee, and then the joint. Either one that's left from the night before or a fresh one. And then it just, I don't know. It's not like, oh, whenever I feel like it, as the day goes till the night goes, and usually take a couple of hits before I lay down. It's like, oh, you drink water? Yeah, drink water all the time because human needs X amount of water. Yeah, I smoke weed the same way. It's like water. Food.
Yeah.
I'll roll another one.
Actually, I mean, from way at the beginning, that was the motivation of starting to grow was that you could, yeah, back when we was 400 an ounce and shit, fuck. You only smoked that much unless you had a lot of money or did a lot of hustling.
Swinging. Did a lot of swinging.
I mean, a
Buying
lot
for
of times back
48
then
a
when
pound and
I sold weed, it was just to, like, it wasn't about making money. It was about making weed.
Shit, man, that's crazy.
man, I've just been lucky for 34 years, and yeah, one crop after another, after another, after another, to where it's just like this monotonous, like, yeah, different kinds, different eras, thick and thin, ups and downs, but up, not the weed things, steady as Eddie.
Steady, it's steady.
There we go. Roll a cup.
Like even like in the, well, that's a few years ago, a lot of years ago, I'd have multiple places. I was always looking in the classifieds for places, and sometimes I'd find like great places. But my whole like business model there was because I had the one place. When I can't tell you how many times I got another place, and it wasn't like I had to start from day one.
Scratch.
Because I already knew like it. Oh, okay, I'm taking the place over this date. I would
Start
come
clones.
in with plants. So like the first thing I'd set up is a flower room, and I'd already have plants from my other place. So then a lot of this was, oh, I only had to make so many months of rent before it started to pay for itself. Because like, I mean, it might not be such a popular thing to say, but it was always just in joke. I used to say, like, yeah, I'm just pimping the bitches. Like they pay the rent, right? And even my old partners, Scott and Chris, we all started in the same, like in the early 90s in LA. Until both of them have passed on. Till the day they died, their whole thing was to find the lowest rent fucking place you could possibly do it in.
No.
After like around 2000, 99, 2000, somehow I was like, oh no, the bitches pay the rent. They deserve a good spot, which always meant more space, more amps, no neighbors, like things like that. Fences, walls, nice houses. Um, and it was like, yeah, the business model was like, yeah, it's their place. The better the place, then that's them because they paid the bills. And like, oh, there'd be a couple times I'd have to cover a month or so. Not many.
The
Now today,
place that I
that math doesn't really work out in this area because of the cost of living and the cost of, no. Back then, oh, it was pretty easy to roll that way.
my friends let me put the first 3 months on the end of the first year's lease. So I don't have to pay anything on the storefront for the first 3 months. Well, I got fucking employees I have to hire.
And then the reality of my experience was a lot of years we'd make like a whole story, like of who or what we were to the landlord or whatever. God forbid they ever knew what we really did. But then as
Mine
things
was easy.
change, like it's probably been the last 20 years, every landlord I have knows what's up, right? Which I remember at a certain point in that thinking, yeah, that's much better. You don't have to have this charade, right? Then over time, I realized, oh no, it was way better before because leverage and even people that like aren't like really bad or evil. Oh no, still leverage you like this weird way where they think, oh, well, the roof leaks. Well, you're the rich motherfucker. You pay for like like weird things where they kind of got you in a weird way, right? Where I'm like, oh no, yeah, better no one knows nothing. Because
Yeah.
people are even good people are like,
Yeah.
you know, if you give them leverage on you, they'll take it. That's like human nature shit, right?
Let's think shit.
Yeah.
I had a landlord try to do that to me, and I stuck in too much rent. He came over and everything was gone.
Numerous times I wanted the place so bad. And like a lot of times we were like over our head as far as like we were like renting expensive pads. And then I learned real quickly, like, yeah, if they ever like were like, yeah, and then I'd say, well, what if I gave you like 2 months deposit? Money always spoke, right? If you really wanted it, you just have to kick in a little more, right? And most people would go, yeah, all right, even though your credit sucks or you don't have whatever,
You
you're
got
gonna give me
cash.
2 months deposit?
No.
Okay.
Cash is king.
Well, 7 years in Thailand, my rent never went up. Why? I paid it once a year. But come on, 42,000 baht, literally like $1,400.
Holy fuck, right on.
You know, I think I can afford the year's rent. It's been a tough 2 days. I basically have been out of the house by 11 o'clock every day.
Crazy.
Well, the festival's only like 40 minutes from the house.
Right on.
What's crazy is seeing people that I know and then seeing their 18 to 21-year-old daughters and sons, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, true.
I'm trying to recognize who's who
Yeah.
after those 18 to 20 years of not being there. It's like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Time hasn't been good to you, girl.
Yeah, man.
I should have taken all my tie-dyes out there. I probably could have sold them all.
Yeah, man. Captain Tie-Dye.
Well, actually, we did
There you go.
a stage for them, and they left that sucker up there for 3 years, and it still had color after 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I tripped the band out tonight. I actually took a tie-dye that they had. I had both of them at one time, but I don't know what. I think Illinois got the one, but there were two matching tie dyes that they used for backdrops at shows. And I pulled one out for this for today. They all freaked out. Well, two people freaked out because that's the only two people left in the band from then. I dropped that one. Time to take that medicine.
I guess I'll get the other way.
Oh, state of Ohio found another way to fuck me.
Oh yeah.
They passed this law in the state of Ohio that if you're a self-pay patient, they won't give you narcotics.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it is.
Cheers,
So I
Al.
talked to a friend about getting insurance through his mom's company, which is a doctor's office.
Right on.
I'm just afraid they're going to say like $800 a month.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Cheers,
Well,
Touch Spot.
if it's $800 a month, I better have a doctor that's going to give me what I want.
Yeah. And the good brand, the good stuff. Not that.
Yeah, the
generic
name
stuff.
brand.
Yeah. Exactly.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I think everything that's like that I get is name brand. I don't think they have generic type.
True.
But man, Thailand was so easy. In and out in 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And it was only $300.
Apparently, you can go to Mexico and get anything right to any of the pharmacies. The right prescription right there and shit. Money.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking about was renting a car and going down. One day I was out by Bud because he's pretty close.
True.
It was either that or go to San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
I just can't believe it though. Nope, insurance, insurance, insurance. The only one that take cash is the hospital.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey, you pay now.
Yeah, but walking in to see a doctor at a hospital, that's like
Yeah.
$200 just to walk through the door.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The someone's I don't know if it's the insurance company or the hospital. This is something happened to Mrs. D's mom when she was in the States a while ago, and she had to have a go to the hospital, and they're trying to. Anyways, long story getting shorter, they're trying to make her pay like an MRI bill, which is like expensive.
Okay, I paid $300 in
Wow.
Thailand for MRIs.
Yeah,
I had 4 of them done.
that's crazy.
One on my shoulder, one on my knee, one on my neck, and one on my lower back.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, something
because
like
here
that
they're
goes on.
probably like what, $2,400, $3,000 a piece.
6K.
6K, yeah.
That's right, Gondra. Something like that. That's what they want to charge her. She's fighting with the.
Here, look. Oh, I gotta line this. I don't want
Uh-oh. Anyways,
There.
crazy.
this is what I need.
What is it? Ice cold water bag. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe I should go to the hospital tomorrow. It's Sunday, so it shouldn't be that busy. I should be able to get an internal medicine doctor that'll write me a refill on my Thai script.
Uh,
Well, I've got the last 2 scripts with me. And if you actually look at how many pills they gave me and how long it's been, it's
yeah,
like 2 pills a day.
yeah, true.
You know, instead of giving me 120 for a month, that's almost like 2 months right now.
Mhm.
I knew I was going to run into a problem. I didn't know I was going to have to like physically go out and get these certain type of insurance companies,
Hmm.
because it's just not go out and get insurance and every doctor take you. No,
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
but if I can get on my mom's friend's company's insurance, that'll help.
Right on, Cap.
Well, also think that the one doctor that I went to, or I was going to go to, that they were sending me to, if I told them I was getting insurance through them, I think they'd see me and then hold off on the billing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dr. Bombay.
it's a doctor to doctor thing.
Dr. Bombay. Hmm.
But hey, actually, I could get part of my insurance paid for, do consulting work. She's a cannabis doctor.
True.
Really doesn't know shit.
There.
She has like a glossy overview of it, but nothing in depth.
Cool. That's, oh, yeah.
If you're going to be a cannabis doctor, you better know a little bit more than just what a 23-page pamphlet tells you.
Yeah.
That's okay. Here in the state of Ohio, when they first implemented it, they wanted you to come back 3 to 4 times a year.
Mhm.
At $150, $250 a visit.
Mhm.
I went to a conference here and I was talking to some of the doctors and I said, listen, I'm disabled. I live on a fixed income.
Mhm.
I smoke cannabis, so I don't have to take these pills. And I can barely pay my rent. And you want me to come in and spend $1,000 a year for you just so I can smoke cannabis? Go get fucked. You'll see me once a year.
Yeah.
Michigan's once every 2. I think California was like that, my last card. I
Yeah.
actually found when I was going through stuff and I took a picture, I don't know if I should post it or not, when I literally had a California driver's license and I had a valid Michigan driver's license. Well, I looked at them and I said, holy shit, there was actually 3 years almost.
Well, New York medical renewal is twice a year. That's crazy.
You know what they did in Ohio? They made the cards 1 penny, and they're supposed to even do away with that soon. So there'll be free medical cards once you go see the doctor.
Uh,
Michigan is still like $60 for 2 years.
that's crazy. I got lucky. Mine was free. But I have to go every year. I have to see the doctor every year.
Yeah, well, I wish mine was free.
I got the healthcare to pay for it. But don't forget too though, that's a limited amount that I've been trying to get more grams out of the doctor so far, but he won't do it. But if I wanted to grow like over 100 plants, I can just buy my license. If I really wanted to. But
Yeah, I wouldn't mind buying like a 500 plant license.
yeah. They got that here. It's crazy. But I'm only one person, and 500 plants is a lot for one person.
I could see 10 rooms with 70 in each one.
Holy fuck. That's awesome. I need a couple helpers though.
That's a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And every week you're harvesting. Now you do have people that trim for you
Yeah.
because 1 room every week. Yep.
That'd be crazy. That's a lot of bud.
Well, if you go by LEDs, that's basically 4 to 6 LEDs worth.
Yeah.
So an LED pulls 2 grams per watt.
Yeah.
So that's 4.5 pounds from each light. That's a lot of
Nice.
weed to trim
Yeah.
because a lot of my weeds like that I-95.
Shit, man. That'd be a lot of cannabis to smoke for 2 people too. but minus the trimmers.
Oh no, I'd be finding a back door into some place.
I'm always like to find a nice back door into some place myself. Uh,
Yeah, I didn't see too many girls that interested me this weekend.
true. Right on here, Mrs. C. Fire in
They
the
were
hole.
all like all over 5'3".
Oh, true.
I walked past the girl today and I had to look up to her. She must have been like 6'5", 6'6".
Okay. Yeah. That must be one of them California girls. They grow them like that on trees out there. Isn't that right, Bud?
Yeah. Usually if they're 6 foot something, they probably play volleyball.
Our basketball.
Oofa. Nice.
I do enjoy watching girls beach volleyball.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
Much better than beach volleyball. Women's especially when they're good at it.
Yeah. I remember watching it like probably 12, 14 years ago. There were a whole bunch of girls from the US volleyball team. They were playing sand.
Yeah,
So there
well,
was I think there was like 3 or 4 girls teams that were like all like equal,
yeah,
except for
Gotcha.
Kria
she
was
was
her
good for a
last
while.
name.
Yeah, and then let's see, I forget her name, but she married Lard Hamilton. She's older now, but she was like top women's volleyball for a long time. Yeah, some of them made pretty good names for themselves. I think, yeah, there's less attention on it than back then when it was really competitive. People like love sports that are really competitive. And back in the era you're talking about, yeah, there was like 5, 6 teams that were all equally really good.
So I heard about this new football league that's supposed to be coming out. If they let you hit like they used to let you hit in the NFL, it could overtake the NFL.
I don't know. Never
Good,
heard of it.
good luck. I mean, there's been a bunch of tries. NFL's like
I know,
branched in our society, in our history.
but you just hit a point though, bud. You know, if there's a lot of action and a lot of good action, people will want to watch it. Well, if you're allowed to hit the quarterback again, then you know what? People are going to want to watch that because that's the whole game is to, put the quarterback out, hit him hard.
Well, even over the years, the NFL, I mean, yeah, like when it's really competitive is when any sports does better, right? When there's dominant teams and then the rest of them all, yeah, well, that's not good. Hard to keep a sport super competitive. Like Formula One's an example. Last few years, I mean, we've had dominant guys. Schumacher era. Look, there's all
Yeah,
these Lewis Hamilton era,
answer.
but nothing's been like the Max Verstappen era, right? Where he is so dominant, and yeah, it dipped ratings because yeah, who wants to tune in to watch Max Verstappen win every race without even anyone coming close to him?
Uh-oh, guys, I'm in trouble.
Like he has the championship locked up like so early in the year. Then the rest of the year, his team starts testing for next year. So, oh yeah, he might not win every race like the last couple because, oh, they have the luxury of trying shit for next year, which will only put them further ahead next year.
What's your trouble, Captain?
Pardon me?
Did you say you're in trouble?
Yeah, I don't have enough chocolate milk.
Oh shit! Well, you sound like Mrs. B.
I had like 4
Like
swallows and that was it.
Captain just sounded like you. I don't have enough chocolate milk.
It's okay. I gotta go to bed pretty soon. I got an early day tomorrow with my dad.
True. Well, maybe we'll just call his last call and get ready to go.
Well, this is Wednesday. Definitely be last call. I got a
Wednesday.
couple more. I got a couple more Wednesday. Yeah, well, Tuesday here turns into Wednesday. Remember?
Yeah, but it's Saturday.
Yeah, but on Tuesday, after 2 hours on the show, it becomes Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it becomes Whiskey and Weed Wednesday now. Because
Cool.
that's how I'm going to have to get to sleep. Yeah, don't. It ain't that funny.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. B.
Until I can get together with somebody that has some different CBDs and stuff and find out what can knock me out.
Whiteberry's a good one, Captain. If you can find that.
I'd really like to take an oil instead of smoke. So to tell you the truth, when I was taking a FICO, yeah, I didn't mind taking it at 8 o'clock in the morning because I didn't really have to smoke until like 6, 7, 8 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
because I was already high as fuck.
Yeah. Well, this whiteberry stuff, man. I smoke. It's for people with MS. Anyhow, my buddy grew it and sold me a quarter of it, and I smoked half of it. And when I was smoking half the joint, it put me to sleep every time. It was so strong, and nobody wanted to buy it off him. They put everybody to sleep. So the guy went and made it into oil, which is like double the concentrate, double the times now.
Yeah.
See, and then definitely nobody wanted to buy that. It's crazy. But yeah, whiteberry's a good one. It's for people with MS. Mm. Hey, Mrs. D. But that shit puts me out, man. That shit's one of the ones that put me out. Crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm pretty medicated over here. I'm working on my night times now.
My friend gave me these gummies. They're 1-to-1. CBN sleep time.
That's what,
There's
yeah,
10,
that's
there's
okay.
20 pieces, 10 milligram CBN plus 10 milligram THC. Well, the only trouble is by the time I take enough to take effect, I've taken too much THC, so I'm like, zing. That
Oh, yeah.
happened to me last night. I was up until 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I was back up at 11 to go back to the festival.
Oh, wow, man. That's wild. Whee!
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
got home
exactly.
last night at like 11 or 12:30, 1 o'clock. And I sat down and I munched like a whole pack of them.
Oh, shit.
Well, they're pretty tasty, so I had the munchies.
Yeah.
I already went through the snowballs, so I hit
Well,
those, and the THC hit me.
true. Yeah, John DeLine in the chat was just saying CBN usually works the best for sleep, which you had, but you also, like you said, had that THC, which was no bueno.
Yeah, if it was like a 4-to-1, then
Yeah,
yeah, man, I could probably, yeah, it probably would have worked.
yeah, Pico. What a funny name.
But I think I'm gonna try to get together with Dr. Leave Me Alone and work something out.
Right on. Is he in the chat, I wonder? No, Doctor wasn't in the house. I thought he was.
Maybe I can find something that, I can take during the day too,
Mm-hmm.
that won't give me that speed effect.
No, the cat's here. Yeah. Wow. See, this is my second joint of this nighttime stuff, and I'm almost ready for bed. One more joint, and I'll be out like a light.
One more joint, only 3.
Yeah, this stuff, I don't know why. 3 or 4 knocked me out. Good shit. But not like that, the stuff I was talking about, that whiteberry, that stuff's crazy. Easy cake. And yes, you guys did read that right in chat. I do like watching camel racing. I used to watch it a lot.
They can fly.
It's funny
Ostriches
watching.
too.
Huh?
Never watch ostrich racing?
Yeah, I saw a
No.
clip on Instagram. It was crazy. And then
Yep.
even the guy that won, like it's almost impossible for these guys to hold on to the thing, right? So like along the way, a couple people biffed, but then even at the end, them trying to dismount, It's not like a horse where they just calmly walk
No.
and they take a, somehow you
Yeah.
got to dismount. The bird's pissed off that you've been
Yeah.
doing whatever to it anyway. And yeah, a friend of mine had a couple of ostriches in the pen outside, and they weren't very nice. Like they were nasty.
Yeah, they are. They're mean.
Yeah,
mean.
don't they try to peck your eyes out?
They're mean. Well, I mean, not there's exception to the rule to all these animals. Somebody can raise it a certain way, and it's not that way. But naturally, yeah,
Peck your
llamas
eyes
aren't that
out.
nice either. Llamas are like nasty.
Yeah,
I
peck
used to have
your
to
eyes
take care of
out.
some on this property years ago. They'd spit at you. They were fucking nasty. I'd be going over there to feed them and shit, and they'd spit at me.
We don't like this guy. We spit at you. We're talking about spitting ostriches, Jack Beanstalk.
I think that's why I get so much of it. I like Instagram. Like, there's these people make these stories with different animals. Some of them seem too staged and whatnot, but other times I've seen some cool stuff with all kinds of animals, wombats. It's weird if you like, even if you're scrolling, if you happen to even look at a portion of one thing, it knows, oh, you showed some interest in wombats? Oh, we got a bunch of them. Oh, you looked at a goat? Like, like my buddy Masonic got a goat like last month or two. I don't even know how him getting a goat, and I guess because I watch his content with the goat, somehow I get this one called Baby Goats, where it's just like it's such a baby goat that it's in someone's hand, and it just like makes like the goat noise, but they're all so cute, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm like over the goats, you know, show me some more panthers or giraffes and shit. Like,
Start. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, can you guys hear me?
hmm
Okay, good.
beyond all the dog and cat content, that's the stuff where I'm like, yeah, like I'm not so sure the dog's enjoying whatever you needed to make happen to make that video. You know what I mean? Like, I've never had a dog that
Okay, hold on.
do I know that the now he's
Yes.
the king of Saudi I know that the king of Saudi Arabia, the younger guy, but now he's the king. Years ago, there's some camel did well in some race, and he paid the most anyone had ever paid for a camel because he bought that camel, had to have it, $1 million for a camel. But all right, I mean, there's horses in horse racing, and not just horse racing, all forms of
Quarter horse.
horse competitive stuff. That millions, like, oh yeah, they got plenty of horses worth millions and millions.
Hello, Wilbur.
But camels, over, I guess in the Middle East and countries that they're native to, some of them are worth a lot of money.
Where my aunt lives in Ocala, it used to be pretty much farm country. And there were a couple really big horse farms out there. The National Quarter Horse Association spent like $4 million building this big arena to hold events in.
Yeah. Well, the horse game has contracted a bit over the last few years because changes in the economy and whatnot. But yeah, horse is big. I mean, most people that have horses or into anything at that level with horses are super rich. That's like
Mhm.
ultimate rich person's game.
Have never seen so many millionaires in cowboy boots. Well, that was the end of my chocolate milk, and I think that's the end of me, guys.
All right,
I'll
Jack.
catch y'all on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hey, Cal. Have a good rest of the week.
Pete, 'cause you're the host. Good chatting with you all tonight. Have a good rest of your weekend, everyone.
Peace.
Thanks, Cal. Later, guys. Well, folks, that's about the end of the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in on this Saturday takeover. Don't forget to visit Treemadoro.com, Dreams of Gold. Get some awesome genetic preservation kits. Also some sweet merch, like the D-Zombie safety meeting hoodie for a reasonable price. Go check it out. And don't forget to use that coupon code BRAINS, BRAINZ. It works only for genetic preservation kits. It doesn't work for the merchandise or gate-free genetics. Anyway, folks, that's the end of the show. Hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend. And don't forget to tune in Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Till then, guys, remember, whoa, like that, like little hockey guy in the background there says, is doing, keep your stick on the ice with that hash hockey rock. And remember, if your women don't find you handsome, at least they find you handy. Take off, eh? See you all.